halftime? Like, how did you rally the troops, or were you just confident that you're gonna run it back?
I guess I'll answer first. Honestly, for the first game, I knew everyone was primed up. I won't lie. I was not nervous at all. I was like, first half, we didn't even get to play the game, to be honest. Like, they just kept hitting A, and we just lost our A fight, and that was about it. Like, there was not much to it. But then on the attack side, Mitch was calling confident, cool, like, everything was perfect, and we just fucking... I mean, it wasn't even close, to be honest, so...
Was there anything that threw you guys off too as well when you're looking at that second map that you had that role swap on EG side? You see like the Jet coming back here on Yay, IC playing a little bit of Sentinel role. He had a great start on his debut on the Icebox too when he pulled out the KJ. So did that throw you guys for a loop a bit in terms of your preparation for EG?
Definitely not. At least speaking for me and like for the team, maybe the coaches. I think it doesn't really matter who's playing what. It's just like what the agents like. You know, they're playing Jet and Cypher, and they're just playing the basic meta comp. It's like nothing is gonna really change. Like we know how the comp plays anyway, so there's really like no pressure from them switching roles.
Yeah.
Something that I was mentioning as well in the pre-show is that you guys as an org, you guys have always experimented with different things, different compositions, double Sentinel, double Duelist, whatever's needed, even the Clove. Going into this new meta, why do you decide to go with kind of a little bit more standard things like, you know, the Jet on Haven, or for example that Sky that we're seeing more of from Mitch?
Like that you immediately looked at everyone like, I have nothing.
No clue. I just let me do everything for him.
I'll be honest, I'm on the same boat too, but
I don't know. I just play the game.
I think role-wise and agent-wise, I think it fits each of us perfectly. I think obviously me playing Sentinel now, and then we have Net on the Viper. I think it just fits us naturally, and I think we just wanted to do what's comfortable and don't want to experiment too much. And I think that's basically why.
But we definitely see different teams taking different approaches, right? Some are leaning more towards experimental, new meta, new chances, new maps in a rotation. So let's just full send it and see what sticks. However, if we're looking at our upcoming match here, MIBR and Leviathan, let's chat about those two teams and also your read on it, because MIBR, they had a really strong start in stage 1, but ever since Toronto, or in Toronto already, like, they were in struggle town. It seemed to continue heading into stage 2. What's your read? Why do you think, what's going wrong for them?
While you're smiling, please spill the tea.
He definitely has a read, but I don't know if he wants to say. I don't know if he wants to say.
There's nothing I can say out in public, but MIBR, honestly, I don't really know exactly why it isn't going well for them. These guys were looking insane last split, and I mean, to me, I don't really know. I
mean, you can say it was like Tejo meta, but I feel like obviously not, because Reno like is a natural Sova, so like technically it should fit them even more. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're just slumping, and they just have to figure out how to get out.
Yeah. I think even for me, when you're looking at this MIBR versus Crew on that second map of Ascent, they played like a standard comp. You're expecting to play a little bit standard as well, but Crew came out with this double duelist on this Yoru and a Jet, and the mobility that Kesde was kind of bringing around the map, I think maybe kind of threw them for a loop, but I wouldn't expect a 13-1 loss at that point.
Yeah. It's hard to say, because I feel like a lot of teams, especially in franchising, play double duelists. Everybody from Europe to APAC play double duelists, so it's like they can't be caught off guard that hard. So I mean, at the end of the day, I just think they're maybe in a little slump, but I'm sure they can get out for sure.
It does happen. You can't always be on top. Dan, what do you make of the tweet we just saw from Artisan?
Yeah, Artisan, he posted that the team is, you know, going through a rough patch, and it happens to all the teams. They're hoping to come back. For you guys, how, not necessarily a prediction, but how likely do you think it is for MIBR to bounce back after how they've been looking recently? Is it going to be, you know, an Aspas having to pop off, having to have an insane game, or do you think, you know, slowly with time they'll be back in form?
Honestly, I think they just need a little bit of momentum, like a good starting, like a maybe win a bonus and a 4-0 start for them, and they get like a little momentum and confidence into their game plan. I think they'll be back, but honestly, I think they're fine. They'll be back.
I mean, Aspas plus 30 is always, you know,
I think
the team and the people watching, you know, like kind of want it. So, but obviously everybody on that team is talented, and when they were winning everything, they qualified to Toronto. Everybody on the team was contributing. Everybody's playing their role, and I think Cortzia is just like a big part of that team too, and I think he brings up the team.
Actually, hear what Cortzia has to say about today's match ahead of it.
With MIBR's Cortezia here before the match. First of all, mustache check-in. It is back. Are we going to do anything crazy with it this year, or is it just staying normal?
I think it would just stay.
Okay.
I like the mustache. The check-in for you.
Yeah. All right, perfect. We needed that. Now moving on, we saw some role changes last week for the team, kind of diversifying a little bit. Is this something the team is investing in more as we go into the season, or is it a pivot for this week too?
Yeah, like whatever my team thinks is better for us, like improve like as a team, I'll do it. But I think at this stage I'll stay on 10-0.
All right, sounds great. All right, sounds great. Good luck in the match.
Yeah, that did change things up a little bit. We saw Aspas on Euro for the first time. Did you like that? Any opinions?
I want to ask a question in addition
Please
to this.
do, yeah.
Before I answer, I remember, Oxy, you were playing Euro towards the beginning of last year, and it was kind of a new thing that you were getting used to.
Yeah.
Do you think Aspas is still going through that process? We saw him ranked. He's always playing the Euro, but what do you make of his performance here?
To be honest, it's really, I think, comfortability. To me, I'm comfortable. I mean, I love just playing new agents in general and playing whatever my coach brings to me. Play it, all right, done. I'll play in a ring, spam it, whatever. Like, it's just comfortability. I don't know how he is comfortable-wise on Europe, but I know he is. I mean, one of, if not the best jet in the game. So, I mean, like, he's literally one of the greatest.
Yeah, sorry, and just to piggyback on that, and you could answer Zeppa too, because you just mentioned before you had to go back into like a sentinel role. You tested out earlier on, but now it seems to be like the role for you for stage 2. So how do you go through the process of getting used to these new agents and the role that you have to play now, just like Aspas here?
For me, I think it's just obviously initiator and like sentinel played 2 different roles. Honestly, like playing sentinel, you lurk more. I think it's easier for me because I played CS, especially like at a high level, and it's just like you just walk around the map. You know, it's not hard. And then you're playing initiator, you walk around behind your team. Like there's nothing much. But to me, like it is all the same. I think the only thing that's really different is I'm playing like jet, like a main duelist where I have to run in. It's like a whole different role. But for Aspas, he's good enough to play anything, to be honest. And I feel like I'm sure his team trusts him, and everybody in the coaching staff trusts him. I think he can play anything.
Yeah, I mean, in the first week, he broke the kill record across all regions. So, like, we're not talking about someone who's, like, slumping and not performing. Like, exactly.
Yeah.
We know that the individuals can pop off. Verno being one of them as well. The absolute explosive player. Now, his debut back into stage 2 was a little less explosive. It was a more quiet time from him. Is that just like a general, like, the team wasn't performing? It was just like a little bit of everything?
I mean, it's definitely like if your entire team does bad, it's not like one player is going to be like, I mean, it's just hard to play well if your entire team's playing bad, you know? I'm not playing bad, but just like, you're not even getting a chance to play the game. Sometimes that happens, and like, maybe it could be happening here. I don't really know, like.
So what he mentioned too, I think he tweeted out or mentioned it in an interview that at one of the maps, he couldn't even play the map at all. So I'm assuming it was probably on that Ascent map too. But overall, there's also rumors that potentially he's starting off as like an IGL now for MIBR. So I don't know if you guys heard that through the grapevines, but what are your thoughts on Verno stepping up here as the main caller for the team?
I know he, obviously having Mitch as our coach as our IGL, and he played under him. I heard Verno is like a very like second voice of the team.
I hate it so much.
Mata drew that, by the way.
Who's that supposed to be?
That is Verno.
Verno? That's crazy.
Yeah, Mata drew it. He did him dirty with the cross side.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But to go back to it, I mean, it's obviously a new like it's harder than it seems. I'm sure, like, because when you're second calling with an IGL ahead of you, it's a lot easier to focus on like the mid rounds and things like that. But like, with coming with IGL comes a leader, and not everybody is like born a leader, and I think that's the hardest part, becoming an IGL.
Yeah, let's look at the other side then. Leviathan, let's chat a little bit about their performance in week 1. They did lose their first match. It was against Loud. It was a close one though, so those sometimes hurt a lot more than the one-sided affairs, don't they?
Honestly, I don't know. What do you have to say, Eric?
How are we feeling about this team? Are we confident? I mean, it was really close.
Honestly, Sato's he looks good. He's looking like me out there. I won't lie.
Hey, in more than one way. I have a question for you, Oxy.
Huh?
Have you had the chance to stand next to Sato? I need to know who's the tallest player in VCT.
Tallest?
Tallest between you and Sato.
Or is that
Honestly?
tallest of the smallest?
Ever. Tallest ever out of all the players.
Tallest of the smallest.
I am so curious.
I think
smallest.
Guys, no
Tallest of
need
the
to
smallest.
disrespect
That's what
Oxy.
I'm saying out here. Like,
He is taller. You guys don't have to ask. You guys
Yeah.
should know this.
Okay.
How will we know that? You're all just sitting all the time.
That is true.
No way of measuring that. Well, we get in a banana for scale and we'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen there as well. IGL King has been stepping up. We see the consistency in leadership finally. That's something that we have been questioning for Leviathan in the past.
Yeah, definitely. When you look at that side, when they were going back and forth between who would be IGLing between Rossi or between King, and then sometimes it's a week that wasn't either of the two. Now they finally have a chance, at least with 2 new players coming in, though, to have, you know, King call into basically a new system with these 2 coming in from Okeanos and also from Sato.
I mean, I've played with. I haven't seen Sato like much. I've only seen him in tier 2 like in Ascension.
Yes.
That was the last time I saw him. But then Okeanos, I played with him in rank for years now at this point. So I think they're 2 very good players, and I think it's up to the culture and the system that they built like through King and like the organization, to be honest, to make this team succeed. To be honest.
Yeah, let's hear what their leader has to say about how to make them succeed. IGL King was catching up with Riff a little earlier today.
I am here with Leviathan's King moments before they face off against MIBR. Last week we heard you talking about vibes on the comms a little bit. Why do you think vibes are so important to keep those up during the game, especially on stage?
Vibes for me are one of the most important things, because at the end of the day, you're going to feel pressure, you're going to be nervous, and vibing with the team, having fun is how you like break that ice, you know? So I always try to give it to my team.
Why do you think that's kind of your job? Why do you take that upon yourself?
I mean, because like the whole week I'm like kind of like the leader, being like harsh, but at the same time I'm being like the goofy guy, so they can be like loose with me. So I try to like do it the most in the match day.
All right, can't wait to see you today on stage. Good luck.
Thank you.
I think the real positive takeaway that we all had in their loss in week 1 was just that Sato is really good in that game.
Insane.
Okeanos as well, but like Sato really stepped it up.
Yeah.
For a rookie to have a performance like that, that's just gotta feel good. Even if you lose the match, you're like, well, I performed. I've done my duty.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of like me last year. I mean, actually, not in kickoff though. Kickoff, we won't talk about that last year. but coming into the stage 1, it kind of feels like the same like vibe, I guess you would say. And he's looking good out there. But it all depends if it happens the 2nd match, 3rd match, 4th match. You know, we got to keep it consistent too.
He definitely seems very confident, which is a good thing. And
Yeah.
I'm sure
भाई आदमी लोगों को रुक लेते हैं, लोग
like,
ऐसा करते हैं यार.
like a new player as a duelist
It's
coming in,
interview
just dropping
camera.
these type of numbers, like it feels so good to like be maybe text or call him like, yeah, just throw a dart from, he'll run in and kill everybody.
Yeah, dropping almost like, what, 30 kills on the first map, too, on his debut, and then you're going into the later series. Or unfortunately, where they lost the series on the side of Leviathan, you're starting to see maybe it's more like a team play kind of thing with both players, like both rookies trying to get accustomed to that climate and also the environment that King and everybody has over at Leviathan. So
For those rookies as well in Okeanos and Sato, what are some of the things that you guys have found helps you as players stay consistent? Because you're talking about Sato, and if he can keep that consistency, that performance that he did in that first series, what do you think are some of the key pieces for a rookie coming in to make sure that he's able to make that happen?
I mean, he's been playing for a while, but for me, I think it's definitely for like I think his teammates, I guess. Well, like last year I had Vanity, this guy was just like, go swing him, bro. Hey, do whatever you want. Go swing him. Be free. And then now I have Eric, but I feel like more confident now that I have like more experience. I played here for like a year now, I guess. And then yeah, and then I have Vic. I have the little kids, Vic, and Net is not first time franchising, but he hasn't been in here in a while, so yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because you guys basically become the veterans and like the big brothers for those 2 newcomers, for Vic and for Net. So in a Cloud9 perspective, how did you guys bring them into your culture?
I think I can't even like put it on one thing. Obviously, Net, I think he's been in the scene. He was technically tier 1, you know, playing under the guard, and I think he knows me very well. So for him, it was very easy. And for Vic, it helps that me and him are Viet, and then he's Viet coming into the team too.
It's all about finding common ground wherever you can find that. Do love
100%.
that. Do love that. Well, if we're looking at predictions for this one, do you feel like there's a clear favorite before we're looking at talent predictions? Or actually, you can bring them up as well. There we go. Okay, these are our predictions. So yeah.
Did I put it in my BR?
Apparently so. What were you thinking? Thought process?
Probably it was late. I was tired when I put in predictions. I probably would feel that they could maybe bounce back, but Leviathan, despite having 2 new rookies, have looked like the more complete team that has better communication on how they want it to swing versus how MIBR is playing. Maybe an honest mistake, but maybe I could be right. I don't know.
How wrong are we going to be?
Honestly, I was honestly crazy to see Lev mostly on there. I thought MIBR would be, because, I mean, just from where they've been, like, they've gone to international now. They've played, like, top 3 in, what is it, last split.
Last
like,
stage, yeah.
These guys are pretty good team. So, and honestly, LEV do look like the better team for now, but we'll see coming to this game.
I mean, Talent is just notorious for overreacting to literally everything we see. So that's just kind of the thing we're doing. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck in your next match. For now, we're taking a short break, and then afterwards, Uber and Wyatt will be on this couch for map 1 of MIBR and Leviathan. It's coming up right after a short break. Bye-bye.
चलो आता 1 मिनिटात मॅच चालू होईल. सो बेनिफिशियल मिनिटात मॅच चालू होईल. यार माझा माईकचा काहीतरी परत इश्यू झालाय. सेटअप करायला लागणार आहे परत, कारण की माझा फर्स्ट वर्ड येत नाही. हॅलो हॅलो कदाचित गुड आहे. डोंट नो, मला तरी परत रिपीट करायला लागतं. मला नाही माहित काय होतं. येस, कधी कधी नाही चालत, कधी कधी चालतं. कॅप्चर का नाही करत राहून मला नाही माहित. 10 सेकंड्स. 10 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. There we go. These are the short clips of both teams.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to VCT Americas. It's Uber and Wyatt here for your drive home on a Sunday afternoon. Quite the match to be looking at here. It's sunny outside, but for MIBR fans, it's been a little bit of a cloudy one. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Not the start.
How far are we stretching this weather analogy?
I mean, if they bring the board in, I'll take it all the way. Bro,
Okay.
You know me. I don't think we do things by halves. But this MIBR squad, obviously slumping in Toronto, not the result we were looking for, and a very weird start for them. I've even peeked at the map veto. We'll talk about that in a second. That's definitely raising question marks for me. And for Leviathan, it feels like there's a team here that is brimming with potential, and it's still coming together.
I agree. I really think this LEV team has something brewing. I feel like they're maybe 1 or 2 little comp switches away, or getting to the right maps where a player like Sato and that Yoru can thrive, that they're going to be a force. It feels like right now, those 2 slots for champs outside of Sen and G2 are pretty open. 100 Thieves are looking really nice right now. But outside of them, I mean, I think it's anyone's game. And LEV up mid-season, 2 of the very talented Challengers players who deserve a spot on the VCT could propel them there.
Absolutely. You know, Sato come off the best individual map of any player in VCT Americas last week, that Yoru showing on bind. So a lot of potential there, even though obviously the series is one that LEV ultimately give away to a newly resurgent loud team we've been discussing already. Let's talk map veto. The biggest standout to me, White, is MIBR choosing to ban the map they picked last week and promptly got rolled on.
Yeah, they lose to Crew only getting 1 round. Now first ban their pick. Listen, it's easy to play a map pick ban against MIBR. I'm gonna be honest, you just first ban Icebox because that's MIBR's auto-win map. And with Split out of the pool, I'm not really sure where they're taking things, because they're picking into Lotus, which in 2025 they're 2-7 on. So you're hoping that since Toronto times they've made some major progress on that map, then we're going to sunset the pick of LEV, where we've only seen MIBR lose on in Toronto. The map pool is so awkward for them right now. We don't really know where they're going to thrive outside of Icebox. So today would be a great time to prove to us that they have really made steps forward.
And this is what I was starting to wonder, right? Like we saw Aspas test the waters on Yoru a little bit, and something we were talking about earlier is maybe there's room for Arzine to pick that roll up, play the Yoru, let Aspas move back to something a little bit more natural, a little bit more of a cleaner fit for him. On the Leviathan side, excuse me, they've still got the Killjoy folded in here. Com, of course, on the fade. And your boy Sato going to run out on the raise.
That is very traditional from Leviathan to the extent that
Yo, chalo, let's go. We are back with our work now.
this from MIBR. I want to see this double duelist,
Yeah.
and if they are
Ultimately, back करायची आता.
lock in on this Yoru, really trying to hone his skill set on this agent, because ultimately, Aspas is a duelist who wants a lot of supportive utility, is used to having two initiators that are really going to make him the
आज सेट वेगळा आहे.
of the team. But two initiators,
पॅसिफिकचं सेट चांगलं आहे.
you can't really be running that.
अमेरिकेचं सेट थोडं वेगळं आहे.
So having that Yoru as basically a pseudo initiator to
हे मी आज बघतोय ना, कारण की याच्या अगोदर दोन्ही मॅच बघितलेल्या.
I think that could work.
त्याच्यात असं नव्हतं दिसत.
For success.
Both these teams at 0-1, but their fate's very much still in their hands. We're off to low to see where MIBR start on defense and already popped to try and take some early control of Mound.
And it's LEV on the opposing side of the map.
MIBR भाई भलतीच आहे. सीला पुश करतात सगळे. एला पुश करतात.
The teleport to get away, and we'll do so.
Tex here is the early warning system. Cortezia's head goes rolling. Sato here able to pick up the pieces though, and that is some sharp shooting from the young Brazilian gun. What an addition, already on the board in a big way.
Credit the Tex too. Did a ton of damage, connected more sheriff shots after that initial headshot.
Startingलाच 3 kills काढले.
For good reason, been
Crazy.
raving about
Great one.
his Yoru. By the numbers, clearly his best agent. But number 2 has been raised, so could definitely see him thrive here.
Arzine here, obviously not faring well early in the round, chunked down to 61 already, and Oki is going to be able to finish the job. A great start for Leviathan. They are waiting for MIBR to push them on the C side.
I appreciate Sato just really playing into the narratives that we laid very early, and with good reason, because this kid is the future of Americas, certainly Brazil. I mean, it's cool to see this early on in his VCT career. One of the potential greats of Brazil going up against the GOAT of Brazil, Aspas, in a duelist head-to-head. It just doesn't get better than that. I mean, sick matchup.
And Aspas has taken on many like a newcomer from Brazil, right? I want to look back to sort of last year. I mean, we had a lot of different youngster Brazilians sort of come into the scene. I think Parlo's one example, right? QCK was out there trying to get stuff done. Aspas managed to fend off most of those challenges, but he seems in a position where he's definitely looking for where he fits into this MIBR look. We know he's practiced a lot of the Yoru.
He was grinding it in rank. That was something that a lot of people were taking note of. But last week left a bit to be desired with that Haven performance, where ultimately MIBR got a duelist diffed to the max by Kesnet.
And I asked Frod about this in Toronto. I said, like, what do you think about Aspas being able to show that flexibility and move towards Yoru? And he said, I mean, when you have someone like Aspas fall into your lap, you really don't want to try and bend him into like some sort of, new look duelist. You want to really lean on the strengths that he brings in, and he's pretty set, in how he likes to play. That double initiator setup, he really likes a framework of having big entry util to sort of support him. And that's kind of where the baiting rumors came from. That, Aspas really like to be sure that he can hit the ground running when he gets into those sites. Here's Sato pushing in towards Baby Door. Werner's able to deal with him with a right click though, but we are well and truly in the post plant, and MIBR are just looking for some exits, folks, as they perish to the blast.
Not the largest of investments from LEV, everybody going to go down. But yeah, I mean, I'm just interested to see how good MIBR can be with Artsin playing on this Yoru, running the double duelist. I mean, to everything you're speaking to, this just doesn't feel like it's the meta for the team naturally, so they are going to have to force some players to adapt and get on some new roles that were previously their best, but get them to a much higher level now into this first buy bonus attempt from LEV. It's going to be a big fight towards A, looking like.
Yeah, MIB are more than happy to throw down for this. They got both their duelists in the vicinity. Early sees off the rip here. Oki gets forward, TPs. is very deep now. Haunt is dealt with. Burner's already fallen back in towards Baby Dawn. Now that's smoked off. Looks like Aspas rotating back over towards that tree side, but Sato has been plucked out. Artesian able to get off scot-free.
Yeah, it's taking a really peek towards tree, and now simple, but so effective. Both of those duelists stacked up double. Face, dismantle Lev as they swing around the corner.
We're looking at like that early rubble fight, but we're not dealing with Breach Neon, right? It's not nearly that level of explosive. MIBR try and fall back bit by bit and sort of maybe try and take picks as they do. Play behind that sort of controller util if they can.
Yeah, and of course.
Adler by around 10 minutes. Yes, crazy. Nice one.
Take early fights, be able to teleport away late.
8 seconds, huh?
At the very least, Calm would love to be able to take a weapon or two away, with MIBR being fully invested.
Adler 10 minutes. Right.
Unlikely to serve up anything.
Yeah,
a lot of the discussion, I think, on like where MIBR is trending stylistically, I kind of get it as well. You know, Aspas, like we know where his bread is buttered, and you know, Yoru, like you kind of mentioned, has so many of the hallmarks of like an initiator, right? In terms of his ability to gain that information early and sort of, you know, signal things that maybe might not be happening, like you know, faking on a different side of the map and, you know, gate crashing back. And there's a world where like this ends up being a relatively good fit for Artesian, who's kind of been the Swiss Army knife on this team. He's kind of had to do it all.
I mean, I think to the times that he was playing Raze even on Split, when MIBR were playing double duelist early this year, and he was putting up some sick performances, and he was a maniac on that agent. He was going in so aggro, had crazy satchel movement, and then that would just allow Aspas to be that second player coming in on the jet. And as a Yoru, you have so much amazing utility, but then you can also be a point of entry, and Aspas can be that second person in. But so it looks like Lev want to get out towards A again. They're on their full buy now after failing to do much of anything in that bonus round.
Similar look here, same C's thrown out. Actually, a little bit further forward from Verno. Just trying to look to catch Leviathan out. Oki is caught inside of it.
Yeah, he wasn't looking to get quite as deep as he did on the prior round, where he pushed all the way up to the orbs. Fast pivot from Lev to get into Mound. Art's in.
Somewhat committed,
as always.
Get out.
Yeah, just ready to fight, ready to escape as well.
So he's drawn out the C's here from Leviathan, but they are still headed over towards the C side. Actually, Prowler got to get in. There is a vice wall to be concerned about. That's popped up. Now, Sato essentially isolated on that site, but Tex, he's been able to find some inroads here towards B.
Just that standard lurking position from your Sentinel, picking off someone on the B cross when you're going towards C. Plant now going to be thrown down, and I think that should be the headshot angle from Mound as well.
Yeah, it's likely planted for that. MIBR, of course, here really just trying to build their way back into the game. Aspas lingers and is able to find Tex towards B. That opens up some retake avenues. Looks like it's going to be Waterfall and Halls. Late wrap here from Shenum. Don't know if he's going to be involved when he needs to be. And Artesian and Aspas both get snapped as they try and come out from Waterfall. Still, here from MIBR, but they're low on numbers here. And Shenum has already lost the element of surprise. Waiting around that corner is going to be Calm. Tucked here. A little bit of an off angle, but Shenum is able to adjust and find him. Okeano's taken down through the boxes. Now it's on King, but he's healthy. Finds his third. Keeps Leviathan ahead by a nose.
I love the way the Lev were able to fight there together as a unit. They were really proactive with multiple players to take engagements against MIBR when they were trying to get back into that site towards Waterfall. You could just see multiple players facing in this instance exactly. Calm on the high ground, 2 players low swinging out. Just good fundamentals to deal with the MIBR players who were really trying to get back into that site. Ultimately denied. Lev extend the lead, but MIBR on account of winning that prior round, they still have a full buy here.
Gonna let their approach towards A around this lurk wall has been to try and draw out as much of that early util as possible, and then start probing elsewhere. They picked the Tex on B, also delayed the rotate to C in that post plant. So again, they want to work 2 sides simultaneously.
Aspas getting very close to that showstopper, which is a high value. Very close to that showstopper, which is a high value ultimate on Lotus. Has been an ult that can really dictate the game. It's kind of always been the case. Sato in some potential danger, but sidesteps, gets out of the way. Look at the map control right now for MIBR. That gate crash was just sent out by Art Zin, who's playing at Rebel, so he can stay here for a long time. and they have mound control off of the one-way.
Vital Wall does come back up here. Clone thrown out. Okay. Well, the paranoia was more than enough to actually take Arzine out of that rubble spot.
And even still, yeah, look at the amount of util invested to get rid of him. Aspas fighting now with Arzine, swinging back in. These are great duels.
But we want to see Aspas tucked here, trying to confuse. Blast pack thrown down, maybe to knock him off trajectory, but he does get brought down. And there's King again, working two sides simultaneously. That late lurk towards the B side has been awkward for MIBR to deal with, and it's definitely drawing some attention.
Look at that awareness. Lovely from King.
Here's Verno moving up, but up in his face is Sato, waiting for that exact opportunity. And his pretty methodical way of working the map has definitely been in favor of Leviathan. Arzine did return to A, quick enough to get a kill, but now he's going to salvage the round. Good flash, though. Works through Tex. Another one to get him in, but he isn't aware of the double up over towards Link.
This B side is really getting exposed by lurkers on the buy round. Unfortunate because I think MIBR had some quality play towards A. Artzin and Aspas on a couple rounds now. We're seeing them in tandem, working well together, swinging off of each other, getting player advantages for the team. But ultimately, it's just not enough. King, solo lurk, and then the awareness that someone would be pushed out of C, given they just never had any control of mound. It's very possible someone's pushed up, ready on the angle for an easy additional kill. That's well played by the IGL of LEV, the certified IGL. At this point. There's more back and forth madness as there was in stage one.
What a fever dream.
They are just locked in on King at the moment.
There was so much misinformation on the internet
And
during
from
that
the
stage
team.
one.
I mean, it was just misinformation.
It felt like the left hand did not know what the right hand was doing. King, though, of course, you know, has worked under a number of different coaches on this
थोडा
Leviathan team.
अशा एक मॅच मध्ये एक हात बसला ना मग सगळ्यांचे गेम चालते.
He's been happy to give up that role, allow someone else to pick a
किती वॉर्म अप करू द्या पण ते जी मॅच एन्व्हायरमेंट आहे ना त्याच्यात मॅच व्हायला थोडा टाइम तरी जातो.
Step up, take that veteran role.
I'm trying to think if we've ever had a time period like this in VCT in the past for Americas where the mid-season just brought in so many new talented players, but I think it's kind of just happenstance that so many of the upcoming stars were all born midway between the two stages and all turned 18 at like the same time, so they were eligible to play. I think it's just
that mid-year
kind of randomness, but
that's a good point.
It's resulted in a pretty crazy stage too.
Oh, nicely done by Shen on their Guardians, allowing him to kick off beautifully. TP away from the action as the paint shells came in. That's what you want to see, is what was a part of MIBR's success in those first couple of rounds. Take early presence, get a kill, fall back with that Yoru or Omen mobility.
Now in the meantime, Texas taking a fair bit of space towards A that the team can use to press forward, meet up with him. They are on that rotate right now. Gotta feel a little dangerous for him. Exposed to a couple angles, but
no gate crash up here.
Now Prowler is going to get the information through Tree. Lev acting like they could be ready to push on to A right now, but they are so spread across the map. This is a mental lurk to be taken with the Outlaw.
He's so far forward.
It's crazy.
And he's hurt. Like maybe a couple of pairs of feet here up towards upper A, but he won't be aware of the timing for the flank. He needs to find another. Tex is not getting out of that alive. Shenom turns up at just the right moment.
काय क्रेझीगिरी करते ते इला एंट्री घेतली त्यांनी त्यांच्या लर्कर थ्रू फेक केला आणि आता सीला आले.
This is a bad rotation. MIBR, but they've got a real shot at winning this out.
They are here early enough, though, as the rotates are still only coming through from halls, and they're all grouped up. King looks to turn the flash. Prowler followed up. It's going to be Sato with some more sharp shooting there from Waterfall. Now, it's all for one direction, and it's a face-up play for MIBR as the Nightfall pings two, at least, of them out here in halls.
They got all three. That was perfectly placed. And now there's a late wrap from one player. Verno trying to get back to Waterfall. Lev have gotten themselves into a great position.
King's waiting for this. Horn comes through. Paranoia followed it up. Sato timing with the blast pack here. It's King up close and personal, and Verno doesn't have enough time to react. Com will plant his feet here on the spike. Just Com, and that's all it takes. Leviathan extend their lead to 4.
Excellent adjustment from Com in the clutch. I mean, credit to MIBR for making it so close. It was a dangerous round. But I think, again, some situations there that highlight Lev's ability so far in this map to be able to find kills when they need the most with either an individual taking a good timing to isolate a fight like Sato there in Waterfall, or I'm thinking of, you know, King on that lurk on a prior round. Like, they are finding good opportunities to get kills and even things up, you know, taking small but necessary risks.
I was wondering if it would be more proactive flood here out into rubble for Leviathan, but again, they respect the C's threat and, of course, the Raise nades. I think King might have been shown popping up there. Here comes a showstopper. Raspas looking to clear. Sato knocked off his perch, but Com's able to find the trade.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, Artson was forced to teleport away. Lev do have to commit a lot to get him to do so. Again, it was a paranoia with a Molly to get him out of there, but it does isolate Ospas, so 1 for 1, showstopper removed. They'll feel content about that, Lev.
Enough.
Yeah, absolutely, and now it's a full pivot back towards the C side.
We've seen this a number of times, right? The rotates are getting pulled off C pretty easily, and with a Viper's Pit post-plant setup here for Leviathan, they do want a clean side to walk up on.
Flash is going to get popped for some information, and you can see that dragging Verno over towards Waterfall.
Well, look at the quick rotate coming in here. So Verno's trying to get there, up on that C side. Lockdown, but Vice Wall, of course, will delay for a moment.
Verno is fully committing to this right now.
He's
going to get stuck. They don't expect it.
Not too bad. 2 kills, that's something to work with. Artazine does not want to commit in the same fashion. Happy enough that Leviathan have been cut down to 2 players. Tokianos and Tex. And MIBR 3 to work with. I don't hate the idea of Tex trying to get ahead of the curve. Like that hairbrained push upstairs.
Easy round, eh?
Doesn't work out.
Clutch one
Here
also.
to salvage.
It shouldn't really be possible. This should be easy for MIBR to close out, and that is the case. Artzin sprays him down, and MIBR able to deal with that lockdown play.
फेडचा होल्ड भाई वर्नोचा होल्ड एकदम इम्पॉर्टंट होल्ड होता तो एक्सपेक्टेड नव्हता ना आणि त्याने ते 2 पिक काढले वेट पण केला तरी माझा फायदा नव्हता मग त्याने ते 2 पिक काढले तिसरा पण काढत होता पण त्याने स्प्रे थांबवला
Yeah, the spacing there hurts. Leviathan, of course, their swing width is the same, so Verno can line them up. Like that variation.
Yeah, and because of all that damage, the round before that one, where MIBR were pretty much just on a half-buy save themselves, Lev, economy is cracked outside of this 1 hero rifle on Oki.
He tucked here, sees the C's come past him. Swing, but Aspas is ready for it. Makes the adjustment. Now, of course, with very little bit of these shares to work with, you'd think this would be dire straits for Leviathan, but Com is able to fell Artazine. Verno again, just waiting for a chance to
अच्छा
throw down.
4v4 है
MIBR, they would love to get a clean round here. There's just been no point for them in the game where their economy has gotten off the ground.
All right, once again, Shenom can get away from this utility. And that late lurk that Leviathan always looking for in these rounds. Doesn't quite hit the same with these weaker buy. Shenom chomped on there by the Prowler, looking to try and get towards the back of the site, but he'll have the support of Cortezia, someone who we haven't really had a chance to talk about too much in this game. A real high flyer in his debut.
जगह कंट्रोलर ना मेन इशू मेन लॉस घेतला त्याने
On a serious run, I mean, coming into the year.
I think he was topping VCT in headshot percentage at one point.
And that would make sense.
Yep.
Coming into the year, I remember we did some like, who would your rookie of the year be? Like prediction kind of
capsule,
thing.
yeah.
And I know Mimi said Cortezia, and it makes sense. Like a lot of people expect him to be a standout rookie of the year, and has been. I mean, this MIBR little fall off period has really been pretty small compared to the rest of the year, which has been nothing but success. New team come out in kickoff, they get 3rd place, stage 1, 3rd place, qualify for Masters with a team of full with rookies that Ospas put together. It was all smooth sailing, and man, we've just swung the pendulum to the doomer zone after
the honeymoon period has never been more over.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
That is safe to say.
Oh, we've seen this with
आणि आता
in the past. They have that.
लेवने कदाचित टाइम आउट घेतला
Everything is going so right. And then, for the first time, they experience a downturn. And then it's just about, does this roster have what it takes as, you know, teammates and even mentally to just bring things back together, even outside of the game. This is the first major test as a team that
LEV ने आता timeout घेतला.
Coming that tragic showing at Toronto, coming back. Decent game week 1, but you know, not enough to actually get them over the finish line.
I think something that Levitan are struggling with is that tandem play between Arzin and Aspas early in these rounds. They're trying to be pretty tentative, Lev, about how they test that A side of the map, but look, I mean, we talked about MIBR being more of a double initiator team. It was like their go-to look, but as they take up a double duelist look on this map with Arzin on the Yoru, this is flowing a lot better for them here. 2 rounds back-to-back with Verno, of course, interrupting that streak from Leviathan, and now looking like they're in this game properly.
I mean, hell, they were even getting advantages from MIBR on some of the early rounds that they lost just because Lev had some really great individual mid-late round play. Let's see out of the timeout. Might be something of an early engagement towards Mound. That dark cover thrown pretty deep indicates that MIBR may have wanted to push forward, take some space, but it's not going to be the case.
Mount control assumed for Leviathan. Tough to tease out the vice wall here when there's actually players watching it. So Shannon probably jiggling that corner, sets up a smoke. Sato might look to chance it. He's thinking about it. Trying to get his jump length calibrated. Pretty uncanny timing there as Shannon will be just overlooking that dark cover as it clears. Elsewhere, that late lurk towards B we've seen from Levitan could be interrupted here because Artazine for free can post up here and maybe gate crash out. He's got the op as well to play against contact. And
आतोला takedown केला बे. ये wall trip करायला pick घेत होते. Artazine ने textला पण काढला, लरकरला down केला. बघू आता King काय करतो.
Just throwing something new into the mix.
Metatola has been right. It's been a quiet contact from, you know, either Tex or, you know, Com, for example, or King, excuse me, testing that B side. So feels like the op on that angle is just a very reasonable antidote to that.
Yeah, 100%. That is a really good call for the adjustment. This round is good as done. I mean, at least for Lev into the next, they do still have some ults to work with. If they can fight for one of those orbs early, get it onto Sato towards Mound perhaps, get that showstopper to open up one of the sites. Dealing with this Vice has just been a nightmare. I mean, Vice, to me, has really defined this map in 2025. She's been so strong here, which is why it's surprising to see a comp so traditional that you're bringing the KJ into the mix.
And also, like, there's a lot of incentive to play Yoru as someone who can tease the wall out for free, right, with a clone. Just throw a clone into C main and obviously sort of, you know, draw that out. Obviously not in the wheelhouse here, and I like this a lot from Artazine. Nice little tight angle. And again, playing what I felt when we first came onto this squad, pretty restrained style. We were constantly
without pixel by एवढं accuracy झाला.
What to expect from them. When they play Leviathan, we're like, okay, here it is. You know, your old versus new, the same.
खूप high reflex लागतात. तेवढेच fraction of second मध्ये peak मारायला.
Flashier player, but I think here on Yoru, it suits him.
Bruno throwing that deep haunt, not going to ping anyone out. Lev are very stacked up to fight towards B main. They have Tex with the op, so they're trying to get him some kind of opening engagement. Not going to come. Dangerous for Cortezia on that jump peak. Nightfall going to connect onto one, but Sato just failed early again, 2 rounds in a row.
Bruno just seems to be ahead of it there. A bit of a weird off angle out in the opening. He's going to be blinded up. The Steel Garden should be enough to quell any aggression, but Com is caught on the wrong side of the vice wall. Fortunately, he's able to yeet the spike back over it just in time.
Oh, but Artsin picks up the angle that Tex wants to re-peek on. All right, Oki does get 1 trade, so reasonable enough that Lev could try to claw their way back into this round. Double high-low setup is really nice, though, from MIBR if Lev try to walk in.
Shannon playing from upper now. Just a bit of an attempt at a double swing. Omen TP. Oki trying to see what's good at A. He's going to draw some attention over here. MIBR not quite convinced yet, but Okeanos is serious about this, folks. Get that plant down. At least King is still alive, so can work this Viper wall. And look at these, drawn 2 players over, but I like the read from MIBR. Deal with the late flank Viper first, if you can. But King, tough to topple.
V2 होते त्याला 1v2 मध्ये convert केलं opponentसाठी.
It's got to be so frustrating for MIBR.
1v1. Artisan, त्याची position काढेल.
Things up. This is a round. It feels like they should have won. Maybe he can make that a reality.
I think Stick sits. Big fight here for Okeanos.
Nice रे Artisan. Nice easy त्याने म्हणजे एकदम जास्त डोकं नाही लावलं. दिसलं लोकेशन भेटलं अल्ट सोडून दिला. नाहीतर एखादा फुल ट्रोल बिल करायचा याच्यात त्याने काहीच नाही केलं.
They had the read on King's reposition coming through. Yeah, I'd be furious for absolutely no good reason. There have been some major heroics from LEV players in late rounds that have gotten them out to a lead. I was about to make that point and for further favor of LEV because I expected them to win it from there. Credit to Artzin, he is having a really sick performance right now on the Yoru.
Crazy, yeah. I mean, this is not a permutation from MIBR that we've seen yet. We also thought the map pool was heavily favoring Leviathan based on what MIBR have shown on Lotus so far this year, but this is good looks. 5-5.
Yeah, this is, bear in mind, a map that MIBR are 2-7 on overall in 2025. It's their pick here. And hey, we're seeing why. They made a lot of progress. Sato now with the showstopper wants to go first.
Leviathan bustling about, and Artazine transfixed in place there as the showstopper came in. There'll be some stall here from the Razor Vine. This will allow Shenum to try and set up here for stairs. The spike though is committed towards his A side of the map. It is where Lev want to end. Cortezia gets his pound of flesh and eventually has to bow out of the round, and that's an interrupted spike plant, but King's able to find a trade, pushing up in that stairs direction. And now we are starting to get shut off the site, and there's that post-plant Viper's Pit we were looking for.
Yeah, Verno tries to time and get in early, but King is too ready. Ospas with that first kill, taking a lot of decay at the moment, though low on HP. Spike planted for the remaining two LEV players. It should be easy for them to win this out, but it is the GOAT in the 1v2.
Aspas dipping in and out. Eventually, though, just has to tap it. Right now, Lev just trying to diligently make sure he's not skirting around the edges of this pit. And that's about that. Aspas really not in a position to do much about this. That snake bite forces him off. He'll step up again, but now he has to be pretty committed about this. The Viper's Pit does fall, as does Aspas.
Well done on that hit. It looked like Artzin just didn't have the reaction to teleport away in time, so that rocket from Sato does connect onto him initially. I didn't want to see this in the replay again.
He looks like he lost a round of freeze tag.
Oh man, Fraud is somewhat dissatisfied with what happened in that round. I don't blame him, but trades from LEV are good.
You are a hit!
I mean, I don't know if anyone I don't know if anyone individually went crazy enough for that reaction. Like, did I miss something in that round? But hey, I respect it.
King is his lane.
Keep him hyped up. Keep him hyped up. Respect.
Yeah, bring that energy. All right, Aspas. Nothing from the showstopper. Well, not enough at least. Okeanos still standing. Able to dodge the seas. Very, very low in this round, but of course still wants to
location very crazy.
Utility as possible.
So 14 HP वाचला.
Not probing. Usually they probe this A and then back out, but they are sticking around.
MIBR are not wanting to fight things too heavily. The Yoru is positioned with the op towards B, so there's no one that can really, take point, get an easy escape. So they will acquiesce the space and re-clear late with a Prowler.
Look at the conditioning from the late lurk, though, on MIBR. Maintaining always like 2 players towards that B side of the map, now even more. That's also that's the locus of their defensive movements here. This time, Lev, though, just have Tex watching that line passively for someone to push out. We'll see if that really pays off, because we are getting low in time. But because King is positioned up here by rubble, no one from MIBR has been able to get that far forward. So Lev can have some more peace of mind about going A again.
MIBR have the perfect read on the situation. They have rotated and beat Lev to this site. Time has dwindled significantly. Good opener from Sato, though. Mental shot.
Genom might have to go big here.
There's still only 15 seconds, and MIBR are over there.
All right, wall comes up, and here's the pivot over towards B. Makes sense, but Cortezia is tucked in the corner and has to reveal himself in order to get rid of Tex. Oki now activates over towards the A side of the map. Cortezia finding a second, though, down to 33. Spike does get stuck, and King's going to stand tall now as Aspas has to peer around the corner, but timing's not there, and King does it yet again. Massive clutch to derail things for MIBR. And at the end of the half, Lev get ahead by 2.
The heroics from King on that half were pretty mental from start to finish. Lurking kills, multi-kills. They ran the clock down really low. Cortezia's positioning was perfect to take, full advantage of the low time as well. It looked like what he did should have been enough to win it out.
I mean, come on.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
guy seems like a great time, honestly. King's like, yo, don't even mention it. And that's a fantastic performance from IGL. 15-5 is King. Leviathan ahead by 2. Head to a break and come back with your second half of Lotus.
7-5 झालंय ना.
Red Bull gives you wings.
मी म्हणजे जेन्युइनली या दोघांमध्ये असं कोणी फेवरेबल नाही माझ्या असं. एक बघायला गेलं तर एक प्लेयर असेल, एक पर्सनली प्लेयर, पण अशी टीम कोणती फेवरेबल नाही. बोथ टीम्स आर इक्वल फॉर मी. कोणी पण जिंकलं तरी मी खुश आहे.
A ton of intertwining storylines, some that intersect in this matchup between Leviathan and MIBR in the first half of Lotus has been a pretty solid affair from both sides. Artazine standing up on the Oru role here for MIBR, but it's been king for Leviathan with multiple multi-kills in extremely tight positions that have kept Lev ahead of the curve. But MIBR, 5 defense side rounds, gotta feel okay about that. Still looking maybe to see Aspas really activate on this raise, but so far, not too bad.
No, not at all. And I'm pretty sure if you're shopping at the Trader Joe's down the block, you can hear Sato screaming from the Riot Games arena. He's going crazy. I mean, he's making me think that there's some player hitting a multi-kill snap headshot every round. He's going nuts, but I like the energy.
Yes, I'm about it.
I like the energy.
MIBR here, pretty restrained start to the pistol, in contrast of Lev's opener at the beginning of this game. Unseen just trying to pull some attention and a frag. It's King as well, the Spectre that's been hanging over MIBR in so many of those late rounds in the first half. They're now adjusting over towards this B side of the map, but there is definitely an opening that's been made.
Taking their time, working back towards Mound as Artzin presses forward towards Rubble, and Calm gets the info off of the jiggle spot. But Leviathan have a good read on the situation. 3 players are ready to go on C, steadfast in the sight for when the hit comes through.
And they go, remember, no Vice for Leviathan's defense side. It is going to be the KJ for Tex. Bit of a pivot towards the B side. This is pretty lightly held here. It's going to be calling Com over to intervene, but he has to double check that this isn't a bait for an A play. He's hit with a paranoia. That is going to slow him right up, and all of Leviathan have to play from Link here. Tex Emergence finds his first, but Berno doubles down on the side. It's Okeanos, though, getting his 2 and looking for more. Very, very low, and the sole player left, Artazine, puts him to bed. And MIBR bouncing across the map, find solace at B.
Yeah, both teams had some pretty solid
पिस्तूल राउंड यांनी जिंकलं म्हणजे याचे पुढचे चान्स पुढचा राउंड पण जिंकायचे चान्स त्यांचेच असतात. काय केला तरी चांगलं.
It was well played to get into the site, and then from LEV, using what util, they had to swing back in. There was that haunt that came up from Calm, so when crosshairs were turned towards Baby Door side, the 3 players do swing in.
Nice.
Some good little micro plays, but ultimately Artzin winning out those duels, finding the man advantage, was the catalyst to the win for MIBR. He has been on fire today.
Leviathan looking to simply contain the A-side aggression. He sees out from the door here. Shadow ready for him though, and the ghost sings out. Sato, loud as he's been, is able to find Artazine. It is left down to 2 players with nothing but the classics to work with. Tex shows himself, some sharp shooting, of course, from the man. Okeanos doesn't really have much way of intervening. Looking for an odd timing out of the smoke here, but Aspas is playing, of course, that loose end over towards Rubble. And that ghost does not have enough bullets in it, sir.
Quickly shut down
Next
by
one.
Aspas. Let's go for a pretty cool combo play there. Opening the door. In the meantime, they then throw that Paranoia out with the nade back rubble. They all swing past. Fight when the wall drops. Cool idea. Respect it, but ultimately, I mean, look, they just have the classics, but they try to make the most of it with a nice little set piece. Nets a couple kills. Now MIBR on the bonus by Outlaw for Cortezia. Only one potential target to one shot. Calm, who's already picked up the Odin, of course, he is a specialist with that weapon. When it comes to being a scan initiator and shooting people through walls with a high bullet pen gun, Calm is your man. He is the one to cheese you out with kills.
Just imagine if we got Corrode in this series, it would be diabolical. Verna steps back here. This time,
नाही actually सगळ्यांना एक एक बुलेटचा टाकत दिलाय.
So again, they contain, they stave MIBR off, and force this squad now to find another way in.
It really is like nightmare map rotation if you're going up against Calm. Ascent, Corrode, Lotus. It's so good.
Whoa, the second shot is what does him in there. Tex down through the wall. Cortezia with the Outlaw in hand. Softens C up.
Yeah, accelerating into the site. King even spotted by that haunt. Some good utility coming forward. Wants to anchor this hard though.
Now, you've really got to have a white knuckle grip on the mouse in situations like this. And King gets his kill and gets off the site safely. Sato now sets up. But Levitan still want to play more of that retake approach here. Allowing MIBR in.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left. This plant still hasn't gone down. No nade for Sato to deny it, however.
Oki jiggling.
They want to bait out Util. They want to bait out some swings, but they're not going to come. Spike drop has to be recovered. Time is getting so low.
Aspas has the plant. That's not where they want to be at all. And he's trying to dance a headshot angle. And he's handled. Leviathan back in the game here. Finally, once they get those guns in hand, you better believe Sato is popping off as we speak.
The whole squad just really held their nerve when it came to MIBR trying to tap, bait out some Util coming through, swings coming through. They never came. That was just Lev allowing the clock to reduce to nothing, and eventually Cortezia got a little anxious, takes a peek forward, caught by King, who's up to 17.
After 16 rounds, that's a classic King performance. We see these sprinkled in over the last couple of VCT seasons.
Look at Artson's just aware of the economy. He's bought into the Outlaw purposefully here. Few players that he could one-shot.
That has been heard, though.
Forced to get out of there, yeah. And I like this as well from, look at Oki. Immediately off, knowing that Artson had to teleport away, takes the space rubble.
Yep, beautifully done. King as well just bangs Cortezia out over on B. And again, not quite Vice level, but a good stall util available to Tex on the Killjoy. That Nano Swarm will force MIBR to reconsider that C push. Space being taken all across the map. Oki now asking for more on A. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for MIBR if they try and get out here.
We'll have Calm to assist him at some point if necessary.
Got TP away here.
Yeah, has to run. Wall comes up. He is out of there.
Okay, no harm, no foul for Okeanos. Not able to find a kill, but a ton of information, and now time is running a little on the short side for MIBR to decide.
It draws out a lot of util. There's nothing left for Verna to play with in that regard. Artson still inserted here. Shenum has been chilling over towards the seaside where they're going to pivot back. Artson teleports away. They've drawn the LEV players away from C temporarily, but they're now working their way back. Again, time is so low. There's 18 seconds. Molly at the choke. Aspas isolated. Oh, no.
Oh, you hate it. Normally you like your own brand, but that's not what Aspas was looking for there. And it's King to step up once more. Heavy's the head that wears the crown, but his has the chin up. Arzine, what do you do? Sit and wait and hold on to that Outlaw buddy. Some brutal stuff over the last couple of rounds, and a very inauspicious entrance for Aspas, to say the least.
I'm going to need to see that again, but I think got vulnerable up by...
Someone hit him mid-air. Could have been the Nano Swarm as well. There was one in his way. Yeah, just a tickle of it.
Yep. Sorry, was that his own?
Yep.
Viper's Molly, it showed on the kill feed. Is that a weird thing? Because he... eventually naded himself. I don't, regardless, unlucky, got vulnerable, jumped into his own nade. They lose the round, their economy's broken. That's tough, man. That's real tough.
But again, like, starts with Oki, like, getting really good positioning on the A side. Wasn't a kill involved in that exchange, but Artazine was forced off of A entirely. And he got to creep up, get tons of info.
Yeah, the clock has been pretty much reduced to 0 when MIBR have been in situations that they're being forced to plant. That was Okeanos actually with the Odin. Force Artazine away with the Paranoia.
Okay, right over to the other side of the map. Maybe not where Artazine was hoping to be, but at least he can start to work that C side a little bit. It kind of signals to MIBR that obviously their most potent weapon is away from the rest of their team. And they just go trying to pull at threads here, hoping they can untangle the sweater. Bot, and a swarm. Off you go.
Rest of MIBR pivoting towards B main, where there is a Molly waiting for them. Sato as well, just fighting that through baby door rotations coming in from LEV across the map.
Oh, Tex!
Random spam, the door opens, they're just stuck.
That was beautiful util coming out there from Com. Sets that on up so easily. Tex can spray those very low health targets down. Shannon here shows a bit of leg.
10 seconds left.
Oki from off screen. It's like the shepherd's crook just yoinks him out of the round. Thought to Zia. What to do?
Nothing. Not a whole lot. Tex gets 4 on the round, has the lockdown. King is 1 away from the pit. The economy is crazy. They're winning flawless rounds.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's the perfect C's, hits, and random spam. Love to see that. But hey, Riv.
All right. All right, Tex.
The script says Riv has joined us for a sideline report, Mitch. Riv, what do you have to say?
Yeah, how about that? How about that? So I think we're all coming into this game very interested, knowing Artazine and Verno are now doing co-IGLing. Throughout kind of the halftime there, we heard Fraud talking quite a bit, and right after Fraud stopped, Verno was the only voice to call a strat. The middle of the round is becoming more communal from the team, which you can see Artazine and Verno still being the spearhead of the calls. But the following rounds as well, Verno was then asking for things. Can I get this here? You do this, and can you do that? The answers were yes. Like, Verno is calling at the beginning of the round, and it's flowing into the rest of the team. So let's see how they can continue against Leviathan here.
Thanks, Riv, getting some of those insights from the comms. Yeah, I mean, is it though? Because this honestly is consistent with the descriptions of Verno's impact on this MIBR team in stage 1. Now maybe just unleashed a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's unexpected, just more from the narrative sense, less than the gameplay. I mean, it's just... Verno's arc this year is crazy, is what I'm getting at. He has now worked his way into becoming the leader of the Brazilian squad. It's got a crazy character arc. How have we ended up here?
Honestly, just really impressive to see a young player, you know, shoulder that level of responsibility, right? And sort of leading the team forward. Doesn't pay off in this next round. Shannon chunked a little bit by that paint shell that came through. Sato aware that Artazine is lurking, lingering, hanging over him like a Damascus sword. It wants to appear here, but it's got flat. Okeanos handled him.
Oh, wow. Nightfall connects onto multiple players, and Ospas is going for the flank, but King aware at all times when someone is pushing behind.
How many games has King got alongside Aspas? He had a sixth sense for that moment. Sorry, bro, he says, I've seen that one before. Verno, there's no one to ask to support him here. No orders to rattle off. And Okeanos puts him to bed. That is 2 flawless rounds back-to-back as Leviathan have undoubtedly broken the spirit and economic foundations of MIBR.
That is out of the timeout. MIBR ripping that Yoru ult to get into the A side. And they tried to combo with the Nightfall to, you know, obviously deny the audio so then Artazine can get out. And in the meantime, they had Ospas double satchel through stairs.
Nice! Oh my God!
And then it's just King healing that double satchel over from the B side. It gets an easy catch onto Ospas. Artazine teleports out into the open. It's caught, or rather gets out of the all. It's rough.
Look at King standing here, back in halls, just waiting for any sort of cue of where the action might be coming from. Viper's pinned up for the IGL of LEV. Now, very quickly, MIBR just trying to clear this architecture.
That turret just chunks Ospas down to half HP. Unlucky.
It's not a great look.
A lockdown coming through. Can MIBR actually get proactive and break this?
I mean, Tex is going to hold his ground here. And you might pave the way here for some of that post-plant util setup. That's going to be cleared out, though. Aspas running into upper. Sato waiting around the corner for the frenzied superstar of yore to handle him, but it's a young blood that gets the upper hand. Sato can't handle Cortezia, though, following him up, and it's Shenom laying it down. He's at Steel Garden.
Bring them down.
Com playing well and truly off this B side, but of course always a threat with the Odin. Sees and Horn, knows Artisan's there, and he just flattens him. Oh, here, Roki, that is dirty. Cortezia 8 health, but honestly has bled this clock more than enough, as Com is going to have to walk away and recoup.
Cortezia played that round in pretty lovely fashion. Really, the team overall, I like the pathing that they took over on B there. They were able to deal with the lockdown effectively. They press forward, get the nade onto that. It was comboed with the C's as well in case anyone was playing close. Maybe Tex was still kind of tucked near it. Wasn't the case, but they break that and then immediate pivot from Ospas. Cortezia to fight up into heaven. They go 1-for-1. Now Cortezia has taken space, sets up a new crossfire, and has the Vice ult up there, rips that. That was some nice pathing from the team. Pretty impressive stuff on a must-win round.
Sato's taking up the operator in this round. He's also got a showstopper in reserve. MIBR liked what they saw at B last round, though. Might be looking to test it again. Yeah, paint shells here. King quickly, given the hot foot, has to back off that. Pinged out as well. Artisan lurks in that smoke, and King is not ready for it. Far more advanced than he was expecting. And the op here for Sato looks a bit uncomfortable, so he's traded. Getting himself a better weapon for the situation. And Artisan down to the splash damage off that showstopper. Okeanos has intervened at some really important timings over the last couple of rounds. That one, no exception. Now Sato has to work an off angle. Okeanos is low. Gonna smoke things up a little bit now. Some info off an Omen ult here. Tex headshot instantly. Can't get much more done, but Sato here looking for a pop-up move for the young bloke. Gets on the spike, takes Cortezia out of the round. And with 3 health, Oki is able to land the plane.
MIBR, they just want to keep things simple. Slam B again. Some good fighting forward from Artzin. A little unfortunate that he flashes himself when pushing through, but even still, he gets this initial kill. Lev then really bide their time getting back in with the 3 players. In this moment where Oki was towards Baby Door, Sato eventually pushes in at the same time as Tex. When the dark cover cycles back up for Oki, that was really nice, patient, and then just everything executed with the perfect timings, and Sato connects the shots.
Exactly what Leviathan were looking for there.
They are looking good.
Now, of course, against the Stinger Rush, you might be in decent shape with his Op and Outlaw. Let's run B again, folks. Classic VCT Americas look here now from MIBR. King mindful of the Omen TP in behind, but Artisan is well ahead of the rest of the team.
Yeah, caught in the snake bite, vulnerable up. And now an attempt to pivot to C from MIBR. They're going to get into the site. Tex in the back does get hit by that paranoia, so will be temporarily routed, but this can just be a full 5-on-4 retake with a significant gun advantage.
So much to work with here. Sato, though, eventually has to concede. Off that line for the time being. A big group here over towards Halls for Leviathan. They know they're going to have to get their hands dirty to close the map out here. It's a little bit risky, dangerous going into this myriad crossfire setup. To those 2 razor vines getting thrown out there. Tex for Sato, that's the trade. Oh, nicely done. Tex doesn't move, holds his ground, and it's all on Verno. Getting involved in the comms, leading the charge for MIBR. On the fragging front, though, it's been a quieter map for him. Now has to handle the 3 Leviathan players, and it's not to be. Another 3K for King. 25 frags for the game. And Leviathan close out Lotus.
King was just a menace on that map. I think MIBR should have had more rounds on defense. That's where they looked their best. The attack, a little uninspired. But Artsin and Ospas as a duo, I thought were really controlling the map on D, but it just ended up not mattering on several rounds when King, late into it, finds some crucial kill or a multi-kill at the end of the round to win it out for Lev. They've stolen away MIBR's map pick. He put on a show.
Honestly, Leviathan come out with a comp about as old as the Times New Roman font on the back of their jerseys. Like, pretty classic look. Don't involve the Vice whatsoever. And get a lot of value still out of Tex stalling with this KJ util on the defense side.
For sure. I'm really impressed by the team play they had and some of those retakes towards the end. You know, in some of those specific moments, just waiting out for the proper utility to get back in. Sato being so vocal in that
For
game.
everyone
hyped
but
up
himself,
is
by the way.
Crazy.
He's such, yeah, I like it. Good energy here on the Leviathan side. They've always kind of had that element to them, no doubt about it. We're going to step aside. Our desk is going to step in and discuss how does map 1 win and look ahead to map 2.
Baby. Yo, we are so handsome. Keep up this energy, bro.
Vamos ver, é o artezinho pra buscar esse clutch. Clica na spike, não faz metade, Leite Deus vai ter que dar cana.
Estaba también clasificar ahora desde la clase. Bien, fresca para él.
I am here with Leviathan's Desmo ahead of Sunset. Map 1 goes your way. What went right for you guys there, and how are you feeling going into Sunset now with that win?
Feeling good. I think a lot of the things we were missing last week, we got it figured out today. Definitely, like, we're in a good mood. Everyone is very relaxed, and that showed today. Like, we were calm, collected throughout the entire game, and it's gonna show again and get on map 2 hopefully.
If you could dive into that, what are the few of the things that you felt really worked for you that you were looking to patch up?
I would say just being like a bit less hectic and chaotic, and just trying to read more into the game, and just understanding that we're good at the game and we just rely on what we know. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks for the insight. Good luck in map 2.
Welcome back, everyone. Zoe here, joined by Vansili and Dan Dryad, also known as Just Dan or Just Dryad.
Or Dan Dryad.
Or Dan Dryad.
That's how I go. That's how I go.
That's right. We're going to break this one down for
like
you. That's why I'm her favorite. There you heard it, Vansili.
All good.
You know what I personally really like? What's my favorite thing? New looks from teams. MIBR showing us a double duelist again. Thank you so much. That's why I get paid. MIBR showing us a double duelist again. Didn't work out today. On the other side, definitely not a new look for Leviathan. That's a very old comp that we know, and I mean, some love it as well. What do you make of that? Are these two looks that you feel like they fit the teams? Is that something you want to see again?
I do want to say that it does fit the identity that MIBR has been looking for. I think ever since like end of stage 1, ever since failing out of Toronto 2, it almost seems like with the meta going towards a double duelist is something that was already leaning towards that side of MIBR. Because remember, Artazine on the Yoru playing like Judge on Split, for example. So I think you're slowly transitioning to that to have that for most of the maps.
I was just gonna say this is nothing new though. The double duelist, I know we're seeing it more for this type of MIBR, but we remember in Split that they had already tried it with Aspas and Artin. So it's nothing new, but we definitely want to see more of it. It was just lacking a little bit there.
And at least on the comm that's oldest time for Leviathan's side is basically having that KJ back in the hands of Tex. During the offseason, we saw him play a little bit of Vice and trying it out, but I think just the game plan around Leviathan, having that KJ in the composition, allows for the 4 players to be a little bit more concentrated and focused on the attack side to play a lot of these 4-1 so that Tex can find all of this information in the long run.
I want to highlight 2 players on Leviathan side though, Sato and King. We talked about Sato leading into this match. King, their IGL, has also just been shooting this game down.
Both of them have been insane, and I love to see the 2 South American players be highlighted for this map in specific because they both have very different things to bring to the table, but both of them were insane. Obviously, we saw Sato every time the King is popping up, getting those 3Ks that happened in, what, 3, 4, 5 rounds, it felt like. Sato is hyping him up immediately and saying, you know, that's my Chilean King. I don't know what else he was saying. But it's a nice combination between the 2 because now
Read
you're
the
having...
lips. What is he saying? What is he saying? F-bomb.
But he was like, I'm so
you can't say
freaking happy.
Exactly. No, but
there you go.
I love seeing both of them shine. And obviously, in stage 1, we had a period where LEV didn't even have King as an IGL. So him back on the roll. I know we mentioned IGLs and how far they made it. King has made it internationally, 2 champions, to a top 3 champions last year as an IGL. So now him in charge, and also Sato to have that you can lead a little bit and allow him for success. I think is amazing.
Just allows for him to be back in his wheelhouse too, IGLing for a team and also multi-fragging on top of that, so he's just back in his comfort role.
They're making it look so easy. Again, I'm always just expecting an IGL's performance would tank by default, but alas, that is not it's not the case here. It's not the case here.
Unless you're in a tank, then you're still owning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works out for some, and then not for others. That's crazy how it works. So let's hear what MIBR's coach Fraud has to say ahead of map 2.
I am here with MIBR's Fraud ahead of the second map. Unfortunate loss in the first map there, but there were still times when the team had control, but like 1 kill would change the round. What are you looking to do to prevent that and kind of rally in for Sunset?
Yeah, it's kind of a similar issue we had last week and we've been going through, and happened again today, is more of just our individual decision making, especially to kind of close out rounds. Like, I mean, we're playing at a very high level, other teams are playing disciplined, and I feel like in some situations we're playing really good and then that discipline falls out the window when we need it the most, those last 10 seconds. So I think it's going to be a big focus, just start strong and end strong, using the same kind of form of just focusing on our individual and discipline and making sure that we're playing the right way to close these rounds out and not make it so complicated on ourselves.
Can't wait to see it. Good luck in the match, Rod.
Fraud talking about the individuals is so interesting because that also felt like to close out those rounds, that was a win conditioning for LEV on the other side. You saw King, as we just talked about. We saw Sato as well. We saw Okeanos in one of those last rounds doing it. And it was happening over and over again, which is crazy because you are in the team with Aspas, the guy who's solving not only the beginning of the rounds, but the end of the rounds in a lot of those cases. And that was something that was... when the team is struggling, as they have admitted they are doing, you're looking for those individuals as those win conditions. And if that's not happening for MIBR, I think that Sunset is going to be very, very difficult for them.
Well, let's talk about Sunset and let's talk about what we expect to see from both of these teams. We've not seen Sunset being played from either of them in quite a while. Now, in this meta, with the looks they've been showing us so far, what are our expectations?
For my side, for Leviathan, I don't think they're going to try to focus towards his double duelist thing. Ever since Okeanos joined the roster, he seems to be flexing a lot around smokes and sentis or initiator whenever it's needed, mainly around controller. So he's probably going to play this Omen on this map for LEV. For the side of MIBR, I still think you might be able to play some double duelists here at this point as well. It almost seems like the Euro is going to hop out, but if not, mainly, I think what's most important as to why they're playing this double duelist is if Aspas is going to try to entry but can't really do it on his own, he needs at least somebody else here that could flash out for the rest of the team, and then the rest of their group could fight toe-to-toe with the rest of the
And that was
defense.
not really something that was happening as much when you got to see this first map. I mean, you see who was getting the most of those openings for the side of MIBR. It was actually Artin on this Euro. So it's going to take a little bit more to change things around if you're going to be seeing the double duelist. I'm so confident, though, on Sato with this Neon. As a solo duelist, I think that should be enough for LEV.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out after a quick break. Uber and Wyatt will be back on this very couch, so don't go anywhere. We see you on the other side of this.
Right here for you, Uber and Wyatt.
pretty steep climb for MIBR coming back in off Toronto, that little downtime period now in stage 2. Suffering like 3 big losses in a row and sort of having to bounce back now in a metagame that didn't naturally look like it fitted them. Over on Lotus, that second half on attack side, pretty lifeless. Really not what you're sort of hoping to see from them. There are some bright spots, right? I think Artazine is someone who definitely bears discussion, stepping into the Yoru role. MIBR showing us a double duelist look. And honestly, looks like he's running it back, judging by his screen.
I'm not mad at it. Listen, last we saw MIBR on Sunset. They played it twice at Toronto. It was a map they clearly wanted to lean into, coming back into the pool. They lost to Liquid, they lost to Genji, and they didn't get a whole lot of rounds. So they're going to switch up the comp. I mean, yeah, it looks like they have the Yoru, so presumably they're going to run the double duelist here as well. I'm not mad at it. That defense, I was excited because it looked like their duelist duo, not even looked like, they were on point. They were playing off of each other really well. And it was also just sort of interesting to see Artzin be the main AWPer. Not surprised because he's the Yoru. You want your Yoru to be AWPing, even though that's, going to be Ospas' comfort role as an AWPer. Wasn't picking it up. Artzin was on point. He was looking good, man. But it's just the attack switch. They ultimately look lifeless and are then reduced to the last 3 rounds, just B-slams, 3 in a row. They're going to have to pick things up here on Sunset, or else they're in danger of being on a 4-loss streak for a team that was just on fire throughout the first 2 stages this year.
Yeah, a slight delay there on stage hitting the Sunset, folks. So as we come back around, we'll see how Okeanos rates with a fit check.
What's up, guys? It's Oki. This is my fit for today. Top to bottom, pearl necklaces, pearl beads, gift for my family. Next up, another jewelry stack. I thrifted this in Houston. I don't really know the brand, but I just got it. LEV jersey with my symbol in the back. I have a tattoo similar to the symbol on the back. It's a koi fish and a lotus flower. My mom, her favorite flower is the lotus flower, and me and my dad own a koi fish business. The pants, black baggy unique little aerism, and shoes, New Balance 530s, and that's my fit check.
So there you go. Something I like about the Levitan jerseys, they've all got, I guess, like a symbolism on the back that sort of speaks to all of them. I think Comms is like Sova's bow, for example. Aspas, I think, is a tornado, which makes perfect sense. And, the koi fish there for Oki. We got a sound issue on the stage right now. That's what we're sort of working through, folks. But we come back in, talking about MIBR a ton. Not a word about Levitan yet because their Sunset we have not seen. We don't know what to expect from these guys, but we know it's the kind of map where a lot of teams, and Sato, for example, has run out on the Neon, and it's probably Sato's least, I think, high-rated duelist.
Yeah, so compared to the other big 3 important duelists of the Raze, the Yoru, and the Jet, Neon is pretty significantly his lowest, statistically speaking. I'll use kills per round as an example to illustrate that. On Neon, it's 0.79. The next lowest is Jet, 0.88, and the Raze and Yoru are both in the 0.9s, which is extremely high, and that's a 400-round sample size, so it's nothing to scoff at. They are going to run Sato on the Neon. I want to see at some point this team maybe mess around with Okeanos playing some duelists.
Double duelist?
I wouldn't be mad at double duelists. You don't need that on Sunset per se. Elsewhere would be cool, but Oki's Neon is actually fire, so I would even be curious to see it. Maybe here if things don't work out, but, very speculative. It'll be on the KO, which feels very rare. This comp feels very rare from LEV. It's an interesting amalgamation of little agents.
This LEV team has 4 ex-duelists on it.
That's good. 1 quad duelist.
They have them in spades,
TSM
right?
in the FaZe Clan Invitational on Split or whatever. Something like that.
Texas, of course, loves
or maybe
to
that was
remind
100
us.
Thieves. That was
Remember
one
quad
of those
duelist?
teams. I think they did. With Hiko on Raze, it was something like that. I don't know.
I can't tell if I was like...
Someone find the tomes and get the duster, and we'll...
Was that during my, contractually banned from touching Valorant era?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yes, that's tough.
It might have been.
Damn. What life could have been like. All right, so moments away, of course. We're still waiting here on the opener of Sunset, or the opening of Sunset. Levitar, not seen a lot from them on this map so far. Okeanos going to be on the KO here. So again, showing us that flex potential. Sato getting loud and proud on that Lotus map. And honestly, a very solid result for Leviathan. Coming in this game, feel like it's one that could go either way, but it really hinged on MIBR taking a serious upward trajectory as opposed to last week. And well, we're not convinced that's the case, but Cortezia, of course, always deadly on the Cypher. And the double duelist look from MIBR getting pedaled out again.
Starting on defense, that was their good half on map 1. The double duelist was looking pretty smooth there.
I remember Frog telling me, dead ass, this was MIBR's best map. When we were in Toronto, he's like, it's our best map. I'm like, okay, boss. They won 12 rounds on
He said
Sunset.
that before they played. To be clear, he didn't say that after. All right, Sato takes a hell of a lot of damage, just probing around B main. As the rest of LEV work forward on A. One shot from Tex just sends Arts in to spectate his teammates for another solid minute.
Yeah, chunked down pretty low here, as you can see. Big exploration into elbow. Now for Leviathan. They might be out trying to drone here out from Lincoln. Tex spotted. Pulls back away from that one-way. Sato got his value, man. Good patience in the round. Yeah, well, he's got a ghost in his hand. What do you want? Aspas felled in the middle part of the map here. Cortezia are able to handle Tex, who was lingering, of course, around that one-way. And don't tell me he's going to double down. Sato with one more health point than he needs, in fairness. Looking for more in this post plant. Smoke coming over towards elbow. That's going to cut the Sova out of the action. Com has to look for another way in. It's King! Stand and deliver, son. Sato dealt with here, but that's the confirmation that Cortezia is the last player. On the other side of this smoke, 3 LEV players in the site, feet up, straight chilling.
He got a lot of damage spamming, but yeah, not going to matter. I can't believe Sato found the kill. Picking up Aspas, who was on the rotate in mid with 2 HP. Instant tap headshot, cool. And then you could even just see MIBR when they were stood in Link, they were waiting for him. Surely he's going to swing from top mid, Link, somewhere. No, he was just standing behind the box and they wasted a ton of time. And at that point, the dark cover got cycled back up.
I'll admit it, I overpeaked.
Caught. Caught.
He respected the owl drone and then came back for a second bite of the apple. And it was a little sour. 0 points sees nothing, so confirmation of push up for MIBR on that B side of the map. It's the very passive cam position that can look both into market and to B main. And Cortezia's just sat back.
What is going on with that little gate crash? Look at his spawn. Texas falling. No. Artsin, don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it, man.
Tex ideally wants somebody to tease this out of Artsin to put pressure on the Yor so he'll appear. And this is house money for Tex. He's happy to hang around. I think Artsin probably doesn't take this.
Surely not, but I'm so invested in the plot. It's a fake teleport.
All right.
No payoff.
Tex looking like Tanner from high school now has to return to his his original positioning on this A side.
He does look like he might stuff someone in a locker and take their lunch money.
Yep. He's not messing about.
Dude, all right. Well, LEV, they get market for free. Cortez is back there with a classic. He's about to just get snapped on.
Yeah, he's not feeling good. King gets in there. Cortezia out of the game, and MIBR hoping to stack that A side of the map. Do not get what they wanted.
King might be on for his best series of this year, to be honest. It's been a bit slow going for him in stage 1. I mean, matter of fact, Lotus might have been his best map of this year so far.
I feel like he and Mazzino, respectively, on his LEV team, like had randomly like unbelievable games last year. And King just after moving,
for sure. I mean, historically, King has been a phenom. He's just an incredible player.
Moving back to IGL and then all of a sudden like really hitting his stride. It seems to suit him. I mean, Xander actually looking similar, right? Picking up that extra responsibility and honestly just running with it. Getting great results, of course, on 100 Thieves.
Yeah, we've seen that. And it's actually what Xander explained when he was on the couch yesterday, and have heard other players that switch to IGL talk about this. Sometimes it's that feeling of getting control of the game in your own hands so you really have a grasp on everything that's happening. makes it easy for you to always be in the optimal positions, you know, rather than just kind of being a piece of the machine at times. Like some players just thrive with that level of control. And yeah, maybe that'll be the case for King, just locked in IGLing. Let's see if LEV can do something on this bonus round after a very clean anti-eco.
One way, of course, completely disrespected by this fast-moving Leviathan comp. See Sato entrenched in elbow already.
Yeah, that flash pop through the window with a recon will be an effective way to get into elbow early. That'll definitely not be the last time we see that opening little util combo from LEV.
This is a full contact re-clear, though, for MIBR, so they don't have to expend anything on retaking it. God forbid they have to commit an owl drone or something similarly. They do now. So they are actually spending a little bit of util re-clearing an A side that's long been left in Leviathan's wake. They're headed over towards market.
You can see MIBR, they're taking control back of elbow, so you know, they should have enough info that the hit's going to be towards B. Cortesi in some trouble.
They're really trying to pressure the Cypher position. Arzine steps up, though. Not a bad showing from him. King produces the Sheriff. Narzine is out. 45 seconds. Spike in mid here in King's hands.
Oh, look at Tex. He's worked his way all the way up behind Cortesi, who just doesn't know where to look.
Aspas, though.
But the spike is in mid. Wait, I didn't even notice that. That's a problem.
That's crazy. You know why that's crazy? Because I just said that.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second. For real?
Yeah, I mean,
Are
I
you
guess
serious right now?
they were still hedging a little bit, I suppose, on the idea of moving off the B side. Come here. God, he's got a big job on his hands. Shannon will be holding that line, and it's pretty easy. Bonus here for LEV, and had a couple of stingers mixed in, right? So they can probably stomach the round going this way. Good adjustment there from Shannon. Tex speculating, but no time to get a plant.
They'll take the extra damage. Aspas is the only one living. He's got a 0 in the bank, so he'll be happy to take that Phantom over. But LEV will be, hey, content with that on a bonus. Little plant cash, and they kill 4 players. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate the spike was left in mid. I was so locked in on the fact that Tex had been able to wrap all the way
through,
back through B. So Cortesio was just pinched.
Completely surrounded.
Yeah, he was completely isolated and surrounded on B. I just did not even realize that King had no opportunity to get over there with the spike. Otherwise, that probably would have been a round 1.
Caught
I mean, look at this round.
Yeah,
they need to save.
Yeah, brutal stuff. It's one rifle, of course. Into the hands of Aspas.
No.
Whereas LEV are on the other end of the power spectrum. In we go. Smoke towards market. No prior opportunity to shut that door.
And you know, in terms of the ults as well, it's Calm and Tex who are the closest to getting theirs. Those are some strong ults to win future rounds. If those guys can, you know, farm a couple players that are just holding pistols, get a spike down, whatever, having those for the next buy round could put them in a commanding lead if they can use them to get another round win after this. But listen, they've got to make sure they win this anti-eco first.
Okay, Corrode have to back off on this one. A bit of time ball for Aspas here with that paint shell. Bolt cleared. Okay, everything kitchen sink also just sailing through the air in the direction of this B-side defense for MIBR. Yep, relay bolt, throw it all in there.
Oh, the flash hit everyone.
And they backed off. Aspas given a bit of a reprieve there, and now he's going to swing with his solo rifle. Then it's working out. Corrode is able to find some purchase here as well with his Sheriff. Neural theft
30 seconds left.
Comes at a decent time for a player advantage. MIBR squad, 3 to work with, and they're all converging here over towards the B side of the map.
Sato pinged up, playing across right now with Okeanos tucked into the site by jump up.
It's the 2 newcomers to this Leviathan squad. Okeanos affected by the paranoia, still finds some degree of success. Verno gun down, it's on Sato now, slides across and tears Shenom's head clean off the shoulders. Corrode is not healthy enough here. Oh, Sato feels it.
Discipline.
Slowly, Sato goes around. Cam set up, it's not going to help you. Sato exits around with 4. Huge performance. After we kind of tried to temper expectations about the neon showing, that's just sick individual moment from him. He's up to 5 and 2.
It bails them out of a round where they tried to just brute force into the site where they then found out the 1 rifle was at, and they said, nah, we'll go anyway. All right, let's just win. And it almost resulted in them losing. Great clutch from Sato. That slide with the kill was pretty smooth. And LEV really do hard force that site hit. MIBR were stacked up there with multiple players. Ardzin, you know, swings out first to give Osboss opportunity, but regardless, into the next. Fast elbow take again off that. Recon being thrown. Sato gets the space. Last time, Lev just gave it up. You know, they rotated out of here, and there was a mid-round contact re-clear from MIBR.
With the owl drone as well used by the defenders, so it ended up being fairly costly for him. This time he remains an insert.
Yeah, Sato wants to hang around. I mean, they've got the spike here as well. And with Oki still in the choke, throwing out that 0 point.
No real exploration happening elsewhere on the map, though.
Calm is going back to B main for the re-clear at the moment, it looks like.
There's a cam here, though, that Cortezia can work with it. I think we just heard that. Yep. Oh, okay. That's a pretty free clear for Com.
Wow, and there's actually a dark cover thrown across to B right now as Lev intend on fighting into elbow.
Giannis not able to get there. Trades evenly here. Famous the attackers, of course, and look how thinly spread they are. Tex this time doesn't overpeak this corner. Wins it out against Verno, and now Aspas and Cortezia have to hot-foot it over to A.
That is the impact kill from Tex.
30 seconds left.
Isolates Verno. Clean shot with the Vandal.
No stick yet.
No, just tapping that spike, expecting maybe someone could swing or to bait something out. Doesn't happen. Dark cover now over onto Link. This stick is for real. The spike's going to go down, tuck backside.
It's just an embarrassing amount of ultimates here for Leviathan they're able to hold on to. No need to make use of any of them. Start to snowball this a little bit more. This, of course, was the buy for MIBR.
No. The timing just a little bit off. A tragic end for Osboss there.
Com's a little legendary for, you know, relay bolts that can't be cleared.
For real.
Pretty common.
That was a cool adjustment, though, from Lev this time, you know, playing off of what they did to take elbow earlier on the prior round. You know, this one making it look again like, hey, we're going back to B. Comms in main, we're smoking off market, but then they go for multiple players swinging at elbow. They trade 2 for 2. Tex, perfect timing to wrap. Link, super well done.
Sato, he keeps it mum whenever he has a good round. But anytime one of his teammates, you know, finds some level of success, he's popping off. Gassing the boys up. This is a 3-round lead right now.
He's just having so much fun.
Yeah, dude.
The vibes are great for Lev.
Every time I get that injection, I feel of, yeah, that younger blood here. Mid-season, obviously, you mentioned it. There are so many players that are coming of age like halfway through the year. We had to sort of wait. A lot of teams like banked on them. Like Spike is a good example of that. Don't get to see them until stage 2. And Leviathan have done enough to put themselves in a position where they have a strong stage 2, and I mean strong. They can be a factor at champs.
This does seem like a turning point in VCT Americas as far as a changing of the guard. I mean, the players that have come in, you know, Sato, Luke Show, Spike, Okeanos. I mean, it's just, the list goes on. Verno, Mata, like all of these challengers players that have come up, and have now, all these guys that have come up in the middle of this year, they are simply the future. They're so good. It's going to be tough for some of these players that have been around to stay around at this point. The new crop of talent, just so crazy.
This, of course, a MIBR called timeout. They come into a round where the money's pretty thin, but they have a dimensional drift at least maybe to hold into that round number 7. They are giving Lev a pretty comfortable bit of lead. And that squad is sitting on big ults. Almost fire for the Mokianos, close to that null command.
He'll surely get it at some point in this round. Let's see if maybe Shenum can get something accomplished with this Guardian. He is pressed up towards A right now, just playing off of the one-way.
It's a tough position to play that one-way A side of the map, because quite often we're seeing it just disrespected because of the neon. We see a fast lane thrown up and Sato is in elbow in a blink of an eye. And I think it's pretty distinctive that that doesn't happen this round.
Yeah, now later into this round, as that second dark cover drops, Calm gets that timing to come over and re-clear with the drone. Spots out one. That's Osboss towards elbow. And now Lev want to work elsewhere to show that presence. They've been stacked up in B main. Time to go forward. Cortezia is really far forward.
I like that damage. I mean, the guy's got stones. He just holds his ground. Straight onto the side here is Sato. They are pushing straight through. I think off the side, Aldazine had to get very hastily.
Yeah, he wanted to just teleport out of there. No desire to fight Sato, even though he is down to 45 HP. Will take the most forward point position, can act as a piece of bait. If he needs to go down to 45, but everyone can trade off of him, so be it.
Paranoia comes through. That's going to force Sato away from that closer angle, but Okeanos is able to pick it up. King still tucked here on the corner. Leviathan spread the jaws wide. Feast here at a flawless round against his half buy. Guardian brought in there by MIBR. None of it really leaves a mark.
They're feeling pretty unstoppable right now, man. They are looking crazy, and they've got 5 ultimates
somebody
now.
bring me
5
a coffee.
ults for the buy round.
Oh, that's dirty. Rationing those.
In that moment, Sato's 45 and pressed up, happy to be a piece of bait, but dodges out all of the util, baits it out, and then still gets away. Everyone
fell
gets
off the
cleaned
paranoia.
up. The economy is super solid for LEV. Wow, investment into the operator here for Artzin. And fair play, he was really strong with the back on Lotus on D.
It's not useful at A though because of this line of sight breaking tech that Leviathan have. Sato has overdrive active. He really wants to try and run rough shot over MIBR on such a round, and Shenum caught by that. And a correction from Sato doesn't come quickly enough. Paranoia also a bit of a problem. This is awkward for Leviathan, getting snarled out midway through the site, but Com might have salvaged with from afar a Hunter's Fury, and he's ready for Cortesi to try and dig him on out. Finally, the operator gets involved in the game. Artisan from Link shuts Tex down.
If Kinky gets at the spike, he can teleport the hell out of here and get to B if he wants. He does get it. No, just going to...
Baits it.
Oh, just baits it, but with the whole running around. Yep, see ya. Gets out to B, and now Calm is going to be in main. Looks like they want to double up. Yeah, just play together. Artson has the op right now. That's a little awkward.
Yeah, because Com likes to play in a different postcode from his teammates most of the time. He's already here.
If Osboss gets 1 kill, he'll have the showstopper. So that could be an easy way to just kill both players, potentially, if he gets the first free one on the second. Artson sticks.
Okay, boom body of Aspas. Steps up to check manually wide a swing from Com, but still seen through by Artazine. Now it's on King. Have a look at that one. Drop the gavel on Artazine. And now he's going to troll his old teammate. Old friends, new foes. Seen this story played out before, and King gets the better of the final boss. A sly smile on the faces. He knows he's left a mark.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. There was no part of me that doubted he was going to win that 1v2. He's just so good today. He's going insane. He's insane right now.
10 and 2.
Is insane.
10 and 2 after 8 rounds, man. That's not right.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, just... Yeah, okay. Feeling good, the uptrend for Leviathan.
Oh, the vibes
palpable.
are crazy. You can just, this is the most authentic, good vibe confidence that you'll see. You can tell when the vibes are fake. These are the realest, most confident vibes they've got.
And he's been reminded now by Sato that he is in fact his Chilean, which I'm sure is just going to make his spirits soar. It's rather possessive, Sato, I won't lie.
So they make all that noise, take B main, and now they're just going to slowly back away. King has been chilling top box. What a shot from Artzin. Sick.
I got a lot of time for Artazine. That was good looks. A big way to slow some of this Leviathan momentum down.
You cannot take away the quality individual form Artzin has been in today. He's doing really well. He's been the player for MIBR that has been winning rounds for them. His performance on Lotus was sick.
Okay, null command here signals a pretty fast hit over towards the A side of the map, but Com flattened instantly. Sato, though, the second line, they're not ready for this at all. He's going to find 2 slides across.
He's a maniac.
There was a crossfire upon crossfire waiting for him, but the remainers of Leviathan still look to try and get this one secured. Tell you what, Artazine is just too clean with it. 20 health out of Dream, and he converts. That is bloody disgusting. What a thrifty round. Artazine, cool and calm. A great way to at least give MIBR a ray of hope.
Man, they are still looking not particularly excited or happy at this point. Not a lot of celebrations for the fact that they just won an eco round, and Artson got a 3K with the Sheriff. Okay, maybe we missed it on the cam. Maybe the second shot was a little...
Fire River with the AstroTurf.
They spread
of the
misinformation. No, I take it back. They celebrated. They're happy. There was misinformation being spread by the initial shot that we had of the players. Okay, Artzin is just him.
Yeah, okay.
He's just him.
That op's been going around the map a little bit here. Artzine's been taking it towards this B side more often than not, but that's the first time Leviathan have encountered it early. That one hurts. Sato, a pretty good game from him. 9 and 6, but he'll have to sit this one out. Sheriff in hand. Oh, so good with the man through the smoke. King is down yet again, cutting head off the snake. And Cortezia really rallied by what he's seeing from his teammates now. Steps in, steps up. And it's up to Com to step to the music now. And now they're very much aware of where the initiator is. It's be a double swing here from the remainers at MIBR and get us at least to a 6-3 scenario. 9 rounds in.
And maybe we're getting to one of those situations where it's feeling like it's down and out, and then one player steps up, starts making the highlight reel plays, inspires everyone else. The confidence starts to surge from there. Artzin is definitely got the magic touch right now. The random sheriff spam, once that's connecting as well, once the random smoke shots are hitting while you're hitting all the other shots, things are flowing for him. And Lev feel forced into the timeout.
Yeah, not only to ice the kicker, I'm sure, but also just to try and collect themselves here because there's been the early action that's been shut down. Other team's been set up to just take contact against the these extremely players on the map. First, he's able to find the off angle that King was perched up on with the TP over the A side of the map. And then in that round number 10, or round number 9, excuse me, waiting for that Neon to show up in B side. Great game here from Artezine. Would love to see more, I think, from the rest of his team, especially Aspas, who has been conspicuously absent. 3 kills over the course of this half. Has not been able to get involved, not nearly as much as he'd like.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like part of it is the fact that Artzin playing Yoru is going to be the primary opper and not him, where normally that is just the comfortable position that Aspas will be in to collect those consistent kills every round. That's Artzin right now. That's how it should be, though. Your Yoru should be the one opping. So Aspas is going to have to find some more value with this rifle when he can. Still have the Steel Garden to play with over on Lev, and they're going to force things out. Just enough to get 4 players rifles and king that stinger.
Funny, as soon as Lev started using their 5 ultimates, they started losing rounds. They're looking a lot cleaner.
Yeah, don't really understand how that happened, but all good. Well, I do. Artzin, shot them.
Also, Sato, remember, he ran up on that A side with overdrive, and unfortunately, it might be a bit more ready for that kind of sort of unhinged approach. Looking at mid now in these early moments. Smoke top mid here, and you'll notice that it has been tripped.
Yeah, the setup at the moment from Cortezia, a tad more passive with that cam far back in the window on B as well.
Even on rounds where early on Artezine's been over at the B side, we've seen that sort of more reserved cam positioning.
So what is the move here in the mid round from Lev? They have it rotated
You can rotation this there, mostly.
mid as the dark cover drops and the door is broken.
That implies a heck of a lot, though, especially with that smoke top mid.
Yeah, so as far as MIBR know, there could certainly be players pressed up in mid, tucked close,
no
tiles. But they've got 3 players towards B, and a lot of these hits, they've had multiple players stacked up for the Corrode. They've had a read on where Lev are going.
Steel Garden doesn't hit. MIBR got drawn off the site, but they are flooding back in, and now things have slowed up a little bit for Leviathan. Once more, they've lost Sato. They still want to try and commit, though with some staggered timing. Artezine trying to work his way around the map. Cortezia under big pressure, and Tex is able to find some double or nothing. Verno with the shock darts. Tickles at the feet of Tex, but that is a stick, and here comes Aspas now, flying in. Doesn't even have to enter the side there. Sees Tex on the corner, and the showstopper's enough to account for him. What even in numbers? Verno jiggling. Okiana spotted out here, and the rest of the players coming in from the backside now, but that setup in Lev for a B main could be huge, and Oki just stands his ground. Oh my goodness, not how MIBR would have seen this round end. Sick post-plant anchoring here for Okeanos.
Easy, bhai. Easy.
Man, how has he gotten away with that? Honestly, he's just completely...
दोनों टीम चांगलं खेळतात पण दोन्ही टीम कधी कधी हाकतात.
So he doesn't even have a good range to take duels to try to play off of Oki. But he's able to take that initial fight against Verno clean, no one to insta-trade. And then they just swing as a team to kill Aspas, wins the duel. I mean,
you moving nice, Twin. You moving nice, Twin.
Oki getting a little bit less attention, I think, overall, because Sato has just been so phenomenal, but he has been such a high-quality player in Challengers in Tier 2 for so long at this point. He's one of those players, when you look at their VLR page, he has like 8,000 rounds played on the Duelist roles. He's just been grinding forever.
Just terrorizing the collegiate space as well. That was nice from Tex. Remember how we talked about 4, one-time duelists on this team? Tex stepped up on that B side there and just slammed 2 quick kills to open it up. Someone stepped up in the absence of Sato, which is important, obviously playing alongside that Neon. Does he get spotted here?
Oh my god, the Comets just dismantled B main alone. Artson walks up, caught. Com's just waiting. Cortezia tucks, caught, and then has to try to retreat. Com gets the kill. This round's just over. It's just done. Com just decided to win for them.
And he can fall off the side and play the Hunter's Fury. At this point, there's just no point. Sato is able to pick up where Com left off.
I mean, right now, Osbos and Shinum, they're hanging around. Osbos is going in. These guys, y'all have no money, man. I mean, he's just, okay, he goes down.
That, for me, should smack of a 2-gun save. Genuinely. Still going for it, though. And
I mean, the
tough.
guns are just, they're just lost in the 5-on-2.
You know, yeah, coming into the last round of the half, of course, in a position like this, definitely not feeling great about that.
Look at the money, man. That doesn't make much of any sense, but all right. I mean, respect to Com. He just tore them limb from limb in B main. It wasn't really, I mean,
that was an interesting variation there in that round as well. I just want to call back to what we saw. Instead of just passively spotting with the cam in B main, Artisan goes into B main and checks it physically. And Com is like, oh, I haven't seen this before from you. Normally you're like passively holding with an AWP or something like that. It gets punished for it big time. And then, of course, doubles down as Cortezia was tucked in the corner with no way to get across the gap outside of cyber caging away, I suppose. But he was lit by the Aldrone. That was not an option. That is just a calamitous round for MIBR. Everyone getting up, stretching the legs.
It's a weird kind of setup because, you know, if Artson was playing back a little bit more passive towards B main or, you know, jiggling, taking a fight where then someone swinging would be closer on Cortezia, like you would want Artzin to be able to be the one to tank the drone if a B main re-clear is coming.
But mostly high chances with क्या था comeback भाई. उनके sunset थोड़ा attacking perspective में आता है. इसलिए बगो हमको ना holding sure पड़ना है. यांच्यावरचं defending मध्ये lurk खूप करतात हे लोक.
What was that motion? I'm gonna
what was that emote?
Banging the table.
Crazy emote.
I mean, that's like the Golden Boy emote on Twitch, right?
आता एकदम असा hyperactive है. ये पण बघायला.
Bit of a gear issue being. Is that why we're tech pausing, Sato? Are you being a little bit too rough on the peripherals? I like the energy though, and you can definitely see even some of the older heads on Leviathan happy to see this infusion come in. MIBR, the way we looked at this team, I thought, was that Artisan and Cortezia definitely seemed like more emotional. We get them on the couch. We did it sort of last stage. A lot of passion between those two. So there's a really emotional interview.
And
right?
and
saw obviously in the arena a few weeks ago. Definitely team, but again, some more aloof, cooler heads.
Not 10.
Verno was kind of one of those guys that because he was so nonchalant. Like in all of his like interviews,
what I
looked like he did not care. Now, you could probably relate to this, but
he was doing the teenager "I'm too cool for everything"
what are you going to grow out of that? Like, well, is that
me? What are you talking?
Why is too cool, guys? But he's actually a softie. He can.
I'm just a little guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
We have a feature. Production just told me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll save you. We spoke with Com earlier actually about these rookies on Leviathan and the infusion they're bringing to the team, and also.
न झोपलेलं बघून मला पण झोप येते. एवढे सकाळ सकाळ मॅच ठेवतात.
Both Sato and Oki kind of, the more they're on stage, the more they'll go out of their shell and like kind of have fun with it. I think that's the biggest thing for me as kind of like the vet now. I want these guys to have fun and enjoy being on stage, you know. Where as esports players, you're not here forever, you know. It's the reality of it, and it's an ever-changing business. So I want them to have fun just as much as I want to have fun, and for them to enjoy what's happening around them, you know. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, and yeah, just keep having fun.
अटॅक बहुत झाला बे 3 मिनिटाचा 3 मिनिटं आपण काय करायचं ट्रांजिशन कर दिले चेन में पड़े थे आताच गेले ना यार ही तेव्हा नाही घेतली आता काय घेऊ something different oh no see them winning here what do you here 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 see them winning here absolutely they will win here also Pacific EME EM काय आहे कुठला आहे चायना चायना Marathi oh अच्छा यांचे सॅटर्डे संडे मंडे असे 3च दिवस असतात मॅचेस सॅटर्डे संडे मंडे सॅटर्डे संडे मंडे सॅटर्डे संडे मंडे म्हणजे डेली चालू होतं पॅसिफिकचे येस फ्रायडे सॅटर्डे संडे फ्रायडे सॅटर्डे संडे पॅसिफिकच्या एमएच्या वेनसडे थर्सडे फ्रायडे वेनसडे थर्सडे फ्रायडे आणि सीएनच्या थर्सडे फ्रायडे सॅटर्डे संडे आई शपथ सीएन जास्त दिवस करतात वेनसडे थर्सडे फ्रायडे सॅटर्डे संडे हे पण लागत नाही का आपण बस टाइमपास करू नये सॅचल मी स्ट्रीम काय करतोय एक सेकंड झाली चालू टास्क मॅनेजर Valorant and task
In a tech pause, that's right. We want to see your pets. Wyatt,
submitted.
I hear a lot about your pets. I actually hear more about the people that the people that come into your house
I just
to actually
matched
see
up
your pets.
with my setup.
then try to use my apartment to sleep in, squat in my apartment without telling me? Yeah.
My favorite story, honestly, and I'm sure White's going to
No, we're not. No.
That's too good. So we'd like to see your pets as well.
Show the pets.
Because we, for the time being, are we're your rover staff. So we are watching your pets for you while you also watch them in your house, but we're watching them over here on the screen, and we're going to discuss that. So send them in #VCT Americas. That's how you can make sure that we can see it. And yeah, we'll discuss them. I think you know, all pets are created equal, but dogs, I'm a big fan of. You're a cat guy though, right?
Yeah, I have a cat.
Yeah.
I love dogs and cats.
Okay.
Equally. They're both
Is
great.
that a bloody Labubu?
What? That is not.
Okay.
All right, bro.
I just learned what this. I just learned what this was last night. It looks like.
Yeah, you just learned about the 24-karat Labubu last night.
That was good.
Yep.
Yeah, Brent knew about it a week ago, bro. He beat
with
me
an
by a
average
week.
age of like 39.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you're like 31 now, and then I'm like 33.
That's not true. I'm young and full of life.
Okay, well that's
not true. Dude, I have so much life left in me.
Okay.
Unlike,
do you want to bring that out in the broadcast, or are we just gonna?
I mean, it's unfortunate that this is going to be our last year doing commentary together because in 2026 you're going to the retirement home. That's a damn shame. I've enjoyed our run.
I mean, no, I came from the retirement home. I went from Overwatch to Valorant. I came from there. I'm actually rolling back the years here. That's great.
I'm glad we got a reaction.
Me when I see the two-gun save ignored and run into the B side. Oh, that's great. Yeah, wait, that could be us.
That's us, boss.
If we weren't commentators on
pause.
VCT Americas, it could be us. That's all I'm saying.
We got a lot of dog people.
That's it. I'm about it.
Look at that little guy.
Yeah, the bandana goes kind of hard. That's what I'm saying. Okay. What breed of dog is that? Legendary.
I don't know. I'm not smart.
Clip it and ship it, chat.
How does it say that?
We know Liz. We know Liz.
Who's that?
I think she's busy. I think she's been streaming today in tears because I think she's at the end of Claire Obscura. So yeah, my heart goes out to Liz.
Oh, whoa. So you know, what's the word?
This is a professional. Look at the vignette on this photo.
Yeah, that's what it is. Very professional.
Unreal. The follow-up's too good, bro. Me when I find out it's Taco Tuesdays and I am at the door. Let me in. Oh goodness.
Oh.
I'm just saying, could be us, but you playing. You're casting people playing.
Oh, are you going to ask if that's a Labubu?
Okay, I'm figuring it out. Bro, listen, up until like last week, I was genuinely still making Harambe jokes. So that is like where we're at. I need someone to just fast lane me all of the... I tell you, Brent has Ghost Riders feeding him the latest memes. Or TikToks.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
he just has brain rot.
Did us, man?
He just has brain rot.
Literally, like you need a full support staff for that stuff if you're not jacked in.
Oh, look at the...
Bro, they're buds.
Us for real, you know what I mean?
Could be us, except you're calling me out about my boominess, bro.
Gamer cat? About to load up some TDM after watching the stream?
Riv? Oh, no Riv? Any Riv fans? That's rough, bro. All right. Still just dancing around a little bit here, folks. Moments away from jumping back into Sunset. Thank you very much for your submissions, by the way. I'm a big fan of taking chances. I've been banned from using Twitch chat, guys. I'm not allowed to because I steal your memes and pass them off as my own, so I seem younger. I've been told I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
so,
that was संपला भाई. Finally.
We rolled it back, folks. So it is MIBR still with a full cohort of rifles.
And they do have communications now. They're back online. They're good to go. So let's see what Artson can do now with this operator. Doesn't look like they'll be going for that two-man setup in B main 2 rounds in a row. That would be devious, though, to run that out of the tech pause.
I would respect that a lot. But no. Change up here. The camp's a bit further forward. Once again, that one way being attended to, so far more restrained early round here. The Com is still hoping to dig something up on the B side of the map. He just has to extend a little further in order to do so. Backside smoked off. Notice that low trip there on the left. And Adazine, well, that's a decent way to force that Yoru out of the site. He's now back to spawn. On his way back in here, Shenom gets off that line, tagged up slightly. Let's fight another moment.
Yeah, the rest of the team gunning it towards A, pushed up through Elbow. Sato is going real quick. Somehow alive, somehow getting out of the way. What is that shot? What is happening, man?
Okay, moment of brilliance there from Aspas. slows Leviathan up. Sato, I mean, much as Neon often does, traded his life for space for his teammates. Here's Kingno waiting for Katizia to cross the map. And he falls straight into his waiting arms.
Insane ult from Calm. That recon was crazy. That's as calm as a calm moment gets, to be honest. Okay, now on the swing, Osbos. Great shot, but instant trade from Tex. And, well, Lever up 8-3 again. Yep. It's just like what happened before. In very wild fashion, though.
But maybe our team will save. So there's that.
He will be saving for sure. But
elsewhere, though, like the economic scenario still doesn't feel great, but MIBR can put together something at least around this op and dimensional drift coming into the last round of the half.
LEV have really loved on this attack side using Calm as fake on the opposite side of the map. A lot of mid-round fake drone reclears from Calm while the team accelerates elsewhere. That has been a go-to for them. And honestly, MIBR have had a fair understanding of that. They're typically having the majority of the players on their team stacked on the right sites, but they're still getting dismantled. And then Calm coming back has a crazy cross-map damn near dart that I think lands like the upper back sight box and then rips the Hunter's Fury from main.
Oh,
yeah, it was such a sick dart. Perfect connection. Calm, that's just how he thrives as a player. That's just what he does. It's his util.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his util.
And
He's
honestly,
he's kind of like, not like he's a gimmick player, but I mean that in the best sense. Like he just has more little trick plays than other
and that's why I really wanted to see Corrode from Leviathan, right? Because think back, who else is playing Sova on Fracture outside of Comp? The guy really is always pushing to innovate.
Arson this time is positioned over towards elbow. Listen again, same little opening for Lev, and why not take that fast elbow space with a couple util pieces. Sato pushes up and then retreats out of there. Osbos drops off of the top in market, and it will be completely forced away now, given that Paranoia gets the clean connection.
Completely gives it up for free, right? Great catch there by King onto Aspas, who's had his number over much of this map and series, in fairness. Smoked off the line, Aspas is each option he tries to take snatched away from him. Things are getting narrowed down a little bit more now for MIBR, but still set up for this retake. 5 plays in the game, guns ready, dimensional drift to give themselves a little bit of advance notice as to what the setup is. Pings on King in the corner now to Paranoia, whistles across the side. Com is tucked on that line. 1-for-1, King out of the game here. That util, controller utila off the map. It's going to be Zato tucked in, steps forward, Aspas down with the operator overdrive now. That's a scary prospect. Oh, they look, it's frazzled indeed. Sato lights them up. That's some high voltage rock and roll, baby. 9 and 3 for Leviathan heading into the half break.
That post plant setup was really gorgeous from Lev. I think the best thing MIBR did was they were able to bait out Calm in the midst of it, get that kill main, and then they wanted to swing down towards these players. But look at the multiple player base coming through. Everybody from Lev ready to fight that. A couple players from Market. I mean, even if one of the freaky, even if another one of the trades goes the way of MIBR, just doesn't matter, man. There was going to be another player following up. Oki on the swing.
There we go, half time. Looks dire for MIBR. Lev get a little silly with it. Let's see if that trend continues or if MIBR can get some purchase on this map to avert a 2-0. Stick around.
Crazy half. Poor.
It's a 6-round gulf between Leviathan and MIBR, the latter who really only popped up midway through the half, strung a couple of rounds together off the back of Ardazine's very heads-up showing. Outside of that, it has been a difficult day at the office for MIBR.
I gotta say, honestly, I'm looking at the scoreboard. Even just for being 8-6, Calm had a massive influence on the success of Leviathan in that half. He played a great Sova attack. And now swapping over to the defense side, big concerns for MIBR, at least if you just want to reflect on Lotus, because defense is where they were able to string a solid amount of rounds together.
5.
And, you know, honestly, it felt like 5 was too little given how well they were playing, but they're going to have to be much better on attack here. The knife catches him, he couldn't get out.
6 suppression there. That is dirty work from Okeanos. Ardazen had nowhere to go. Ah, brother. MIBR missed the top mid-peak timing, get themselves in a market, but here comes a Razorvine, and Zato lingers long enough there to extract his toll. And MIBR split with the spike. Back in mid, at least Okeanos has been felled.
Yeah, caught on the cross, a little too eager to reposition, but now a good setup from, oh wow, awkward timing potentially with the smoke getting cycled. No, it's okay, they can get back up on the angle, and those players are just weak. 1 shot required to deal with Shenum. To the body, was only 40 HP.
Honestly, at this point, bring the monarchy back. This guy is dominating. 14 and 5.
And again, this is another pistol round where Sato in mid just gets a 1-tap on somebody crossing. Yep. What happened here? Yeah, oh, look at that adjustment on the Verna.
It's been like mid-round. Texas, someone we highlighted in the first half, is just getting in crucial spots.
I'm gonna kill them. Why?
And finding these impact kills that really just topple MIBR in the round. And losing a pistol here, already 9-3 down. But we know how this one goes, folks. It is grim.
Yeah, to start it off, there was a knife that came through from Oki that denied the teleport from Artsin. Anyhow, I'm going to live in the present here. And the present is MIBR forcing up. And you can't blame them. They've got to get back into this game.
Well, that's a lot to try and force come off the outlaw line. Unfortunately, Texas there to pick up where he left off.
What? He can't be getting that.
Okay. Gate crash away here. Well, now MIBR do get the swarm over this B site. Com's looking for more. Now the controller util though is going to
थोड़ी easiness थोड़े देते पण tryhard करता है बैक फुट.
Weapon to generate too much momentum.
They use some utility to re-clear market. Now they want to get back in. A couple of weak players for MIBR. Calm, perfect with that outlaw.
Okay, we're doing it. Cortezia only able to find the one here. Verno and Aspas really going to put this together, but Sato is going to be tough to catch. It's Com.
Just sets him up. Just sets him up with the movement for an easy kill.
Verno low. He's so low. However, he's gotten just ahead enough of Com here, but if he backs up onto this corner, oh, the caboose hanging out around the corner. Not ideal. Com cleans him up, and that's 11 rounds for Leviathan.
If only didn't spend so much time on the Stairmaster. If only. Com going off. He's having a nap right now. Sato sets him up nicely to deal with Ospas there. And earlier, just expecting that there's going to be that double push into Bobo, was prepped on the angle as soon as they come out the dark cover. Smooth little 2-piece.
Frustrating. I mean, Verno had to hedge his bets there.
They've just got to force again, which just feels bad. I mean, it just feels bad. But they don't really have any other choice. Fraud has to get into the mix at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Verno look on his face, that frustration. It has been a game where nothing that MIBR has thrown at Leviathan has felt like it's worked out. It's really been rounds that have been one-off. Ardazen just kind of pop it off, right? Or Cortezia having a stopping power. Really, from the engine room of the team is the answer coming. And that's been tough now. Like, Fraud's got to get involved and say, hey, this is it, guys. We are forcing now for the rest of the game virtually. We have to find a way in. Where I pointed this half before.
Wait,
be a problem. We don't have to
आता separation होणार आवाज.
Looks like force up for Cortezia here. Of course, he'll at least be able to get himself a Vandal, but outside of that, it's going to be a difficult round to cobble together. This squad is... they're underwater.
माझा आवाज येतोय. नाही सगळा आवाज येतोय.
Love to attempt to get to maybe some better guns, but you can't because the outlaw exists, so you want to kind of prioritize getting armor. It's an unfortunate situation for them to be in. But hey, We're in Americas. We love this stinger here.
We do.
You know, that's our favorite weapon. So.
It's an epidemic. And honestly, it works more often than not as far as we've seen. Leviathan, though, a team pretty familiar with those up-tempo rounds. They've shown it to us multiple times. They got this standard crossfire here at A. All right, relay bolt catches in. Stingers do be stinging. King here tries to throw that paranoia out. It's going to slow things up slightly. He's got back up in the form of Okeanos here. They both drop back onto A. Try and get longer sidelines. It's a weapon upgrade in the mix.
Slowing down a little bit our MIBR. Creeping their way into elbow. But LEV have enough players on site to handle this onslaught. Tex just posted up on the angle with the Bulldog from Spawn, going to be smoked off, but Ready's timing out of this smoke to assist King.
Here we go. Tex on it. Some nerders, Tanner from high school. Cuts Verno down, and King finds yet another three-piece in the round.
So effortless.
Systematically deconstructed.
They're so confident to just be ready to fight together. Of course, look, they do have the better weapons, but you can just see that immediate reposition. Tex, oh, smoke comes down. Cool, I'm getting in it. King, you're going to anchor this, right? All right, we're fighting together. Oki, you're going to swing too. Help from Link. All right, cool. It's just beautiful fundamentals that we've seen from LEV across this entire series. If you think back to Lotus too, you know, early on, so many rounds where you can see everybody ready to play off of each other, always multi-swinging, a lot of trust in each other to be there. King is 17-6 on this map as well. Crazy performance from him today.
Someone who, by the way, we just weren't highlighting as far as our storylines of players to really watch.
He has been a consistent top player in the game period for so many years since LEV debuted on the global stage. But this year, it just hasn't been his. I don't even really want to blame him for it. It's been awkward for LEV overall, but let's see if they can close things out here.
Anyone's going to step up. It's going to have to be Aspas, and he didn't see what was coming. Straight through the smoke, Okeanos handles him, and now Tex is waiting on the Razor Vine. There was a clone, and Verno trying to follow it on in. Across the map, Hunter's Fury. I think we've seen enough here. Artazine steps in. Okeanos tries the widest swing, but man, this guy, the one ray of light for this team, if I'm honest with you.
For sure, he has been excellent today. You cannot take that away from him, and maybe he's done enough to keep MIBR in the game. Dreams of a miraculous comeback alive.
Okay, drift off the site for free for Artazine. See, there's an info ultimate for King available. And there's the ping. He knows that Sato is lingering over towards Boba. And what's King thinking? TP out onto the site here, but no, just across the way. Artazine might have heard this though, and yeah, has his crosshair set, but it doesn't matter. King, he's too clean with it.
Placement is crazy.
Smooth as butter. Sato's turned out to step up. Cortez trying to play up the camera. Oh man, just the gun fights not being won out by these MIBR individuals when it really matters. And now Com's going to give it a tap. King will be the one that starts it and ends it. Poetic indeed. Leviathan absolutely blew MIBR to smithereens. And the storyline coming into this game was that it feels like an inflection point. This
EGPG win.
showing some strength. Maybe this is
EGPG win for LEV. Second map, First map तर top fight दिलेली. Second map was EGPG win. EGPG. चलो, let's go. I'm not interested about this. आज आपण थोडा वेळ आहे ना काउंटर स्ट्राइक खेळू, मग त्याच्यावर जाऊ व्हॅलोवर. I'm back. I'm lost. परत डिगल डिगल अरे डिस्प्ले कॅप्चर बंद आहे मला ऑडिओ ऑडिओ I am always late. अरे यार ठीक है नो वरीज नो वरीज लेट्स गो लेट्स गो प्रॉपर मिड का हे अडकतो काय आहे भाई हा माऊस अडकतोय ते बघ माऊस अडकतोय हा आता मी ग्राफिक्स पण लो केले जास्त नाही FPS मुळे काय सीन आहे भाई पीसी जाने लगा